Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Small Screen Star Wars. As always, I am Julian Musha. I'm joined by Rachel Wilkinson.
Hello, friends.
Yeah, it's good to be back.
It is. I felt like a very short break, but
it was, and
we're
to
back.
be honest, I could have used a little bit of a longer break.
Take note, Star Wars.
Just a little bit longer. Just a smidge.
But I like getting more content, so it's hard.
I saw someone on Twitter complaining like, "Oh, when is Star Wars going to be back?" And I was like,
what
do you
are you
mean?
talking about?
It was 2 weeks ago or whatever. We have Panda Express in the chat room here on Twitch.
Oh, hello there.
Welcome. Thank you for joining us. Oh,
yeah.
Reminder, of course. Okay, so we're going to be covering the Acolyte, of course, for the next, 8 weeks or 7 weeks?
Yeah.
I guess it's 8 episodes, but there's 2 already, so 7 more weeks.
7 more weeks, yeah. Or 6 more weeks.
Yeah.
6
so
weeks.
Prepare for that. It's going to be, I think if they're doing the premieres Tuesday night, which again, I appreciate the drops happening at 9 Eastern, I think. 8 Central.
Okay. I didn't even realize, I missed the opening day because I was expecting it on Wednesday for whatever reason. I was in Bad Batch mode.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I was late a day.
I don't know why they think that the cartoons don't deserve that same treatment, but whatever.
Yeah.
So Tuesday nights premiering. We'll record Wednesdays as often as we can around 7:30, 8 o'clock Central Time, live on Twitch and YouTube. So if you're not subscribed, go to twitch.com/TowerBabblecast or youtube.com/TowerBabblecast and find us. Click subscribe and you'll get notified when we go live. It's fun to join us as part of the live show. And we can nerd out on Star Wars together.
Yeah.
What else? Any other housekeeping? I think that's it.
I don't think so.
Just quick reminder, follow us on Twitter and Facebook and all that stuff to keep up with what we're doing at Tower Babblecast on there. And if you want to help support the show financially, which is really the most important way to support the show, the best way to do that is to go to Patreon, patreon.com/Tower Babblecast. We do monthly film clubs. Last month we did a bonus, technically.
Oh, bonus.
We originally promised to do Mad Max Fury Road, but when Furiosa came out, we decided no. We need to do both. So we just reviewed both together. Spoilers for, I guess not really spoilers. Spoilers for my opinion. Furiosa is awesome. I know it's not really performing
good things,
at the box office.
I feel like people just aren't going to movie theaters as much. It's, I don't know.
Sad to me.
It's a bit of a luxury these days, so.
It sucks. It's shit. People should be going out to see this movie in droves. It's so awesome. If you are not sure, unconvinced, please do yourself a favor. Go see one of the coolest action movies you may ever see. Anyway, we're going to talk a little bit about action today as we talk about The Acolyte. But before we get into the 2-episode premiere, I wanted to set the stage a little bit around when The Acolyte is set, this High Republic concept.
Yes.
And, just be upfront with everybody and say, I'm not an expert in the High Republic timeline.
Gotcha.
And how familiar are you?
I wouldn't call myself an expert. I've read the books.
How many?
3 of them.
Okay. There's many. I don't know how many. I just know that there's many.
I think they just came out with another set of them.
Phase 3, I think, is just around the corner.
I'm trying to think. Yeah. Have I read 6 of them?
Light of the Jedi and some of the others, I assume.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
I'd have to look at the covers. I'm really bad though. We've talked about this, and I have a weird thing where I will read a book or see a movie, and then after a certain amount of time, my brain just goes boop, and I forget it.
Oh, so you can watch it again for the first time?
Yeah, some things.
That's cool.
I very much can. Movies, especially after a certain amount. I know enough though about the High Republic stuff. I think to kind of get us through. But the stuff that I was reading is way before this though, from what I.
Yeah, this is about 100 and something years.
It's 100 years before the Empire.
Right. But so it's 75 years or something like that after the events of most of the...
Mm-hmm.
Listen, this is what I'm talking about.
Yeah. The timelines are always so messy at the beginning.
Messy.
It's hard.
And it's fine. The truth is, I haven't read the books.
I haven't
read the High Republic books. I've heard they're good.
They're very good.
But I just don't have a lot of time to sit down and read a lot of books. And I tried to do it in audiobook form, and I've listened to many Star Wars audiobooks, which are fun because they're kind of more like a radio play. You get voices and sound effects and all that kind of stuff and music, and it's fun.
Did you find it difficult because they're all new characters?
With this show? Or
no,
just in general?
No, with the audiobook.
Oh, no. I haven't. I've read read or listened to audiobooks of other stuff, not the High
Oh,
Republic.
I see.
I've listened to like the Dooku one, Jedi Lost, and I've done Ahsoka, which is great because it's read by the Ahsoka, Ashley Eckstein. Yeah. No longer canon, or at least questionable in terms of where that lands, but it's fine.
Yeah.
I've done that. I've done the Captain, what's her name, Dr. Afra one, and a few others. Is I think the Tarkin book, which is also no longer canon. I think it's one of the last books that came out before the like recanonization stuff happened.
Gotcha.
Anyway, point is, the High Republic is largely new to me, which is in one hand is very exciting, right?
Yeah,
because there's new characters here aplenty. There are people who do know, and I rely on some of those people to help give me hints about some of these things.
Yeah.
I haven't had a chance to watch even the Screen Crash recap for these episodes, so it's going to be a little bit rocky in terms of like the
lore,
really deep cuts.
Yeah.
We're going to be talking more about this on a kind of like story level, I think, at this point.
No, that's good. I mean, I have a lot of these characters are new to me too, though. Like they're not. What's her name? Vernestra Roth, Ro is. Venestra. She is in those books, but she's much younger. Obviously, she's like a Padawan or like a new Jedi Knight at that point. Like her Jedi Master is in those books, but I mean, for the rest of these characters, I'm not super familiar with any of them really.
Okay.
So,
So that's, I guess, the first
stuff.
Disclosure, right? This is new, but on the other hand, because we know when it's set, we have some context around it. There are elements of this show as a prequel that we get to enjoy just in the inherent prequelness of it, and I am here for those things. As Star Wars fans, I think the prequels have risen in their appreciation over the years. And the prequels. The Star Wars prequels especially are very prequel-y. And I'll say that in comparison to something like Furiosa, which is not really that. It doesn't lean into the, what's coming next, so we're going to drop all these little hints about the future that in the Furiosa example, you could watch that movie first and it would totally work in chronological order that way, right? Whereas I think with the Star Wars movies, if you watch the prequels first, there's all sorts of like contextual clues and hints that are lost, I think, if you don't see the original movies first. So I think that's happening here too. This show is doing a little bit of the prequel-ness, which is, hey, these things that you're familiar with, they're slightly changed. That is interesting in and of itself, right?
I find it's also not hard, but to go from... not that these are like prequels, but just in terms of knowing the content like from the High Republic, but it's hard to go from like books where you didn't have a visual and you're just kind of having to make things up in your own head on like what things look like and what characters look like. And then you go to like live action, right? And then now you're seeing like, okay, that's what these look like. That's what the lightsabers look like. That's what their robes look like.
I think some of these things like from the books have been illustrated, but I mean, even that's not really the same.
It's not the same. Yeah, it's like of your own mind kind of making it up at the time.
Some people really love that and get annoyed when things get adapted to screen because it doesn't match
what their vision was. It is hard, especially with like alien species that don't have any reference yet. So because I remember there was a couple where I was trying to like look up what the species looked like in the books because I was like, I don't know how to like picture this in my brain, and there's like no definition. I'm like, what the fuck do these look like? I'm getting so like confused. There's a few times where like Adam, because he reads all the comics too and gets them like issue by issue, like the little ones. So he'll be like, oh, okay, yeah, I can show you, and he'll like go dig through his box of stuff and be like, yeah, here, like they just came out with this one that can tell you what that looks like or whatever. But
yeah, and like there's always new alien species being added all the time.
Yeah,
so it's like really hard to keep up.
Which is cool.
Yeah, it is cool. I generally don't like try to remember every single species name. There's just too many.
There's too many. It's hard. And especially if there's only like one character, it's. Yeah.
So, and that's fine. Again, we really look at this more from a story perspective, and is it working, and is the character working regardless of the species? If there's our character traits that are specific to species that are well known, obviously that plays a role, but that's not really what's happening here. And Star Wars doesn't really do that very often. Occasionally, that happens, but not that often. Like Wookiees have their own culture and all that kind of stuff, obviously. Yes. But also Wookiees might be the easiest one to remember.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah. All right. Anyway, so that's the second disclosure, I suppose. And then I guess general thoughts on the series premiere before we get into the kind of the breakdown of the episodes themselves.
Yeah. I mean, I'm into it so far. Like, I'm liking the storyline.
You find the mystery compelling?
The mystery is very cool. I mean, a lot of it was like pretty easy, not easy, but like the main theme was pretty easy to clock like right away.
There's someone killing Jedi. We find out who that is. To be honest, I watched it last night. It was quite late, and I had smoked a little bit of weed. But I watched the opening scene, and I was like, oh, this is really cool. We've got Carrie-Anne Moss, and then she's just dead
immediately. Yeah, I know. You're like, oh Adam was bummed too. He loves Carrie-Anne Moss from Matrix.
Maybe it's all a ruse. Maybe she's not actually dead.
No, she gets a
she's probably dead.
Straight
right
to the heart.
Yeah. Right, she's probably dead. Anyway, pretty bold move to get Carrie-Anne Moss to do that small little role.
I bet she thought it was fun. It's like a cameo, right?
Yeah.
Like, there's so many people who like being a part of Star Wars.
Yeah,
like,
100%.
Like, actors who are already fans.
Especially
like,
if you
I'd do that.
Be a Jedi Master.
Yeah, you're like, that sounds sick. Of course.
Yeah, 100%. So anyway, I'm just like, I'm into it, right? I'm like, okay, so this character, she's an assassin, and then we cut to her twin, which we don't know she's a twin yet, and I'm
waking
like, what is happening? I'm like so confused, and
I got a little confused at first too, and I was like, wait, was that a dream or is this a flashback? Like what?
And she's like behaves so differently, and she's like
her
chit-chatting.
Yeah,
is her hair different? That's Ace. Is it really? I don't know. They seem almost exactly the same.
No,
isn't it?
The other girl has long, like, the same dreads in the front, but she's got the long ones at the back.
Oh,
they come down to like
that's
here.
my guy. I was just looking at the
front is obviously the same,
right,
but she's got way longer ones like come down the front.
Yeah, okay, fair enough. Yeah. I was really just looking at the front.
I clocked it right away.
Either way,
their hair is different. Adam was like, "No, it's not." I'm like, "Yeah, their hair is different."
Well, I'm glad you noticed.
Yeah.
Stupid boys,
and they didn't have the tattoo. She didn't have the face tattoo either. But
anyway, it took me a second to figure out what the heck was going on. I will say this. I love a twin story.
Me too. And I don't know, some people are like, oh, more twins in Star Wars.
How many twins?
But...
I mean, what? Jedi? What?
More Jedi twins.
Luke and Leia are twins.
But this is cool because it's light side, dark side.
They're identical twins.
And their light side, dark side is cool. It's really cool. 100%. I'm pumped about this story. Listen, I think it's going to be neat. I thought, I don't know. I'm excited. We have already cool characters. Yeah.
I want to find that clip from Austin Powers and just use that over and over.
Oh my God.
It's Basil.
I hate it. Oh, wait.
It's so funny.
But anyway, I was like, I feel like the story is really cool. And it's like the mystery with like who this dark side, master or whatever is cool. Right. Like I have some theories, obviously we all do. But I'm like into the story so far. So like it's caught my attention right away. I didn't think it was boring. I didn't think, I felt like it was a really good jump into this storyline.
I didn't find it boring at all either. In fact, I was really engaged.
Yeah.
So more so than I thought, because to be honest, some of the more recent live action Star Wars have had a lot of boring stuff.
Right. Well, we'll see.
And I just didn't think this was boring. Maybe it's kind of like you're learning the characters and there's this compelling mystery layered on top. The pacing is good because it's moving forward and it's delivering new information quite rapidly.
Yes,
I think, which is really handy to kind of keep you like, oh, okay, that's interesting. It's validating the ideas that you thought you knew already pretty quick.
Especially you're basically starting out with like immediate like hand-to-hand combat which is like engaging and within the first like 10 minutes there's a dead Jedi Master. Like that's like a pretty like way to like open up a series. I bet we see Carrie-Anne Moss again. I feel like that's
flashback maybe?
In flashbacks. Yeah, I would bet we see her because we're gonna have to see what happened. Right?
Yeah, I think 100%.
That's got to be shown to us at some point. So
there's already 2 of 4 Jedi dead before the end of the second episode. So there's got to be more to flush out what's going on. And only 2 one of them speaks English, the other one speaks Wookiee.
Yeah.
Or what's the name of the language?
Shriwook? No, is it or is that? Yeah,
that's
Shriwook.
right. Yeah. We really only have Saul to tell us how this all came together.
I think I also really liked it because it gave me immediate Kill Bill vibes, and I like Kill Bill is one of my favorite kind of movie groupings there. I don't know what you'd call it. It's not a trilogy. It's a
duology.
Yeah, I don't know what the term for it is.
It's just one story split into 2 movies, really.
I mean, yeah, that's true. But it gave me very much like that first fight scene gave me Kill Bill vibes of when like Uma Thurman and Lucy Liu,
right?
Or kind of have their showdown.
Well, there's comparisons to that. They're calling it Force Fu.
Force Fu, okay,
which is cool terminology in my opinion. I don't know. I just don't. This is just my. I'm just going to put this out here right now.
Okay.
I don't get it. If this is not interesting to you, fair enough. You don't have to listen to us. We're not going to be. I'm not going to be spending. If the show falls apart, I will acknowledge it and we'll talk about those things. But
sure.
At this point, the concept alone is interesting.
Yeah.
And the execution so far has been pretty good.
Yeah.
So.
Are you talking about the people that were mad? Like,
I'm just people who were mad in general.
They were mad before
that it even came out.
Yeah, they were mad. So, okay, well, those people don't.
Right, but we're seeing hand-to-hand combat between Jedi, and that is cool.
It's very cool.
It's a twist on something. I know people are upset about the whip and all this other stuff. I haven't seen it yet. I mean, in a trailer for half a second, but
right, and that I had to that it does exist in the books somewhere.
Yes,
and it's something has to do with she saw it in a Force dream and configured her lightsaber in a way to make it do that. So is like the little bit of the backstory with that. But again,
it all depends on if it looks cool, really, at the end of the day.
Yeah.
We'll see, right? So I guess all I'm saying is give this a chance because the concepts here are interesting.
Yeah.
This is not, no, it's not a $300 million movie.
No.
But it is, I think, well executed. So
a dark side twin assassin that's running around murdering Jedi Masters relatively easy is kind of cool.
Well, one of them killed themselves.
That's wild. Like to me, that having that influence is like, okay, that's a really like. There's got to be a heavy storyline behind.
There's something going on.
Yeah.
The thing is, there is a compelling mystery here.
Yeah, it's like okay. Like, what is so bad that happened that a Jedi Master's like, yeah, I'm gonna kill myself. Like,
right, exactly.
That's fucked. So I'm like, okay, like this is
the absolution that he seeks.
Yeah, it's wild. I'm like,
yeah. So I guess what I'm saying is, if this is not interesting, I don't get what
is.
What do you want? What is it that you want? You don't want women in the Star Wars.
I was like, they want boys. They want
want women in Star Wars. You don't want anything to change.
They want boys being boys, doing boys things.
Stuff being boys. Well, hey, guess what? You have a real bro being a bro in this show with
what's his name?
Yeah, Yord.
Yord. That's such an odd name.
He's such
Yord.
He's such a stick in the mud.
Yeah.
But he's anyway.
I'm not, and I don't mean this in a. Oh my god, I'm not one to like body shame, but I know he's supposed to be like ripped and like hot looking, but. That shirtless scene, I'm like, he looks like a little boy. He's got a little boy body, like little boy chest.
I mean, I don't think he's that old. I mean,
okay, fair enough. I was just like, I'm like, look how slim he is. So cute.
Well, but his muscles are well defined, at least. More defined than my muscles. I'll just say it. I'll just put it that way. Anyway, I'm into it. I will say this. I think I said it's not a $300 million movie.
No.
I just would like a little bit of, and this is true, and it's been true of the Star Wars shows basically ever since Mando season 2. And well, maybe not even Mando season 2, but maybe halfway through, it started to feel like flat. Like everything has a softness to it that is, I think, stark contrast to kind of the guerrilla style filmmaking that we saw from obviously out of the 70s with A New Hope. But just a grittierness that we feel through the original trilogy. Obviously, we're in the High Republic. We don't need that grittiness necessarily. Right. But from a filmmaking perspective, a little bit more dramatic lighting would go a long way. Yeah. In my opinion.
I get what you're saying.
Yeah. I don't know. There's moments where I'm like, wow, this is really, really cool. And then there's moments where I'm like, this doesn't look great. And this screams volume. From the top of its lungs. It's like, oh, this is definitely on the volume. Every single scene at the Jedi Temple, for instance, is clearly there. I would like a little bit of better sense of space, and I would like a little bit of more dramatic lighting. But Leslie Headland directed this entire series. The first 2 episodes are like this. It's going to be like this the whole way. You can deal. I can deal. Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's fair. Because I was very specifically trying to pay attention to like the lighting and that kind of stuff, and I wasn't noticing anything that looked like that pretty or that like whoa, right? So I was kind of like,
there's not really any that striking of shots. There's a couple interesting choices that I think they make, but there's very few shots that are like, wow, that's beautiful, or wow, what a striking image. And it's just,
Yeah, I think it's just more like, I don't know, the combat was a little bit more like striking to me. Like not striking, but it was captivating. I was like, oh, this is really cool. Like I don't know. I had a lot of fun watching all the fight scenes. It felt different. It didn't feel like regular Star Wars fighting for some reason. Well, and maybe it's because she's not using a lightsaber right now, because that's the whole thing with the Sith. Because Vader had to do that too, right? I was like, I don't know if you know that storyline.
I don't.
So there's a whole storyline in the comics of Vader getting his red lightsaber, and the Emperor tells him he has to go and take a lightsaber from a Jedi without using a weapon. And he has to bleed that crystal to get his red lightsaber. And I can't remember the name of the Jedi, but there's a really cool fight scene between Vader and this Jedi, and he's an older Jedi, and he's got these gray man buns, and they're on top of this big, almost like a dam.
Mm-hmm.
And Vader ends up winning. This guy does beat him, but whatever. I can't remember I won't spoil it. Go look it up.
Vader cheats or something, probably.
He takes advantage of the situation and kills the guy and gets his lightsaber. But the whole thing with the Sith is you have to kill a Jedi without using a weapon to take their lightsaber. And then that turns into your red lightsaber. It was an old Sith thing, I guess.
Right.
So I was like, it's hard, obviously hard to do, to go kill a Jedi with not necessarily your bare hands, but without using a weapon. So it doesn't count when she kills the first, the first girl, because she stabs her, right? And then it doesn't count when she poisons him. That's why they're talking about it later. Her and the guy who gives her the poison, about her not using a weapon. So it's she still hasn't earned her red lightsaber yet.
Yeah, and so I guess, yeah. So you think that this is a test for her,
from her whoever that master is. Well, then, that they're talking about.
In the end of this first episode, they say that steel nor laser can defeat them, or whatever, when they're talking about the Jedi.
Yeah.
So it just seems weird to be if the lesson is to defeat Jedi, you have to take them on without a weapon.
Mm-hmm.
But when you do that, then you're rewarded with a weapon. It just seems it's weird.
It's the challenge of it. It's not saying that the weapon is useless. It's just saying it's the challenge of, they have a lightsaber, you don't. You have to prove that you could kill them without using one. It's that almost that arrogance and that that powerfulness, right? You're outdoing the Jedi to become a Sith by killing them by not using a lightsaber, kind of thing, right?
Okay.
It's kind of how I always took it. It's a challenge.
Well, yeah, I mean, to me, we'll talk about it, but in this series, it seems like the approach, at least in this first 2 episodes, is this idea that if you attack the Jedi without the weapon, it forces them to not use their weapon, which is obviously a massive advantage for them, and then puts them in a position where they're in a false sense of security, or they're just kind of not prepared to handle that type of encounter.
Mm-hmm. Right? And that's how it feels in this timeline too, that it seems like the Jedi at this point won't attack you if you you know what I mean, with their weapon, if you don't have a weapon, kind of thing. But that's not,
we're peacekeepers, not soldiers.
Yeah, but I don't think that's how it works in the time of the Clone Wars and stuff, because it's
oh yeah, they just pull their lightsabers for no reason.
And for any time, and later on, Obi-Wan in the cantina takes out his lightsaber and cuts out those guys' arms.
Well, I think by that point, there's no rules at that point.
Well, yeah, that's what I mean. I'm just saying, I think at this High Republic time, there's a little bit more of not an order to things, but stricter rules for combat, because they haven't had war, like they said, in thousands of years.
Well, they say centuries
or something.
Right.
Yeah.
So we don't know how long exactly, but I think
a century 1,000 years?
Century's 100 years.
Oh, 100 years. Yeah. Sorry.
So centuries, multiple hundreds of years.
Yeah. I would assume maybe hundreds of years coming from the I don't know if they call that a war or not, but the whole the books, where they talk about the Nile and the Starlight Beacon and the attacks,
I assume
and
that
they're pirates.
I don't think that's considered a war.
Probably not. It's not.
I think you think of things like the Jedi Mandalorian Wars, and things like that.
Things that go on for decades.
Yeah, and that include multiple systems and multiple factions and planets and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway, that's that's our. I think that's a good preamble. Let's get into this. So we'll start with the intro. As always, there is a new Star Wars intro before every Star Wars show. I love it. I love that they do it, and it doesn't bother me. This one might be the easiest one ever.
Yeah.
There's no.
I know. I was like, I know what all those are.
There's no questions about any of these. It's Vader, then BB-8, then a protocol droid, maybe 3PO. It's not clear, but probably Kylo Ren, R2D2, Rebel pilot, Scout Trooper, Captain Phasma, and a Mandalorian helmet. Maybe Mando himself. That's it, and that's fine. It's much more adhering to like the live action stuff that we've seen.
Yeah.
Whereas when we do the animated things, you get to see more of the animated things. To the point where they even use the animated design for the clone trooper helmet in the final season of Bad Batch,
right?
Which I thought was interesting, right? Anyway, that's not that exciting this time, but we do start with an opening crawl. So season 1, episode 1. Before we get to that, season 1, episode 1, called Lost/Found. I guess this is like a naming convention for the whole series, at least for the first 2 episodes. At least it'd be weird to change it after that, but Lost and Found, Lost/Found. Logline is: the Jedi pursue a suspect after a shocking crime.
Yes.
The murder of a Jedi. Shocking crime. The one thing I would say is I don't feel like they play lip service to it, but I don't feel like they make it feel like as big of a deal as it should feel.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
Anyway, directed by Leslie Headland, written by Leslie Headland, and Jasmine Flournoy. Flournoy? That's a good fun name. Starring many people. Amandla Stenberg, obviously playing multiple roles. Lee Young Ye plays Master Soul. I think people will recognize him from Suicide Squad. The Squid Games.
Oh, yes. Duh.
Charlie Barnett as Yord, Daphne Keene as Jackie Lon, Rebecca Henderson, Vernestra Rowe. The list goes on.
Yeah.
There's a lot of characters here. Here's the thing I like. I like being back in a time where there's Jedi everywhere. It's fun. And in fact, it's wild because there's so many characters and there's so many Jedi. It feels like there's this like overload where, you know, in the kind of post Order 66 era, every new Jedi, it's like, who are they? What's their backstory? What kind of lightsaber they have? All this kind of stuff. And at this time, it's like, well, there's just so many that it's like you can't even. It's a dime a dozen. You know?
There's so many, and they're like, just like tons of Jedi, tons of Padawans. Like that's like the very cool Jedi training and era, right?
It feels safe and cozy.
It does. It does feel safe and cozy. And now we got someone causing a stir,
right? And you know, I think there's this idea that we know from obviously episode 1 that the Jedi thought that the Sith were extinct for thousands of years,
right?
And the Sith would. I find it hard to believe that the Sith would be able to come back and we wouldn't know about it.
Yeah,
it's like such a come on, Mace. God damn it.
Yeah.
You think so highly of yourself that you couldn't possibly make a mistake.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. Anyway, he's like, no, I saw it with my own 2 eyes. It was a Sith.
Yeah,
but whatever.
Exactly. There are only
Council.
2 of them, guys. Like, you don't know where they are all at all times.
I have to conclude that it was a Sith master, and he's just it's so a Sith Lord, and they're like, I don't know about that.
Yeah.
Anyway, so
probably just a regular bad guy.
Yeah. So in this series, they have to be able to address that misconception in a way.
Yeah. Yes.
Tie the thread, like tie up the bow on this without, spilling the beans, as it were.
Yeah.
Right. I also heard that there's not going to be any Yoda in this series, and I'm skeptical. I feel like there will be a Yoda appearance.
Oh, you think that they're just lying?
It just seems so like Yoda's around, and you're not gonna. It's like that's the only familiar thing you could show. You're not going to show it. Come on.
Yeah, but at the same time, he's around in the books too, and they reference him maybe once or twice, but he's not like actually around, like part of the storyline.
Do you think
we'll
even see the council? Because he's presumably on the Jedi Council at this point.
Yeah, I don't know.
Right?
Is there a Jedi Council at this point?
They mention it.
Oh, okay.
A couple times. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Yoda's always just off doing his own Yoda things.
Why?
Apparently.
What does he do? What does he have to? What is he doing? What is it what you say you do here?
Yeah. What is it? What is it you say you do here?
All right. Let's start with the opening crawl. I always like an opening crawl. I don't know if you consider it a crawl because it's not moving, but it's fine. 100 years before the rise of the Empire. So setting us in a time and place. It's a time of peace. The Jedi Order and the Galactic Republic have prospered for centuries without war. Imagine going centuries without war. Yeah. Sounds lovely.
Right.
Back in the dark corners of the galaxy, a powerful few learn to use the Force in secret. One of them, a lone assassin, risks discovery to seek revenge.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think of that opening crawl?
I like it. It's good.
Yeah, it doesn't. It's not much to say. Not much to say here. We know. Okay, again, we know. Okay, so we know when 100 years before the Empire. Okay, got it.
Yeah.
Time of peace. Understood.
Yeah.
This doesn't start with war.
Yeah.
You know?
Right.
Yeah.
It's not like a super long story that has to give you a million backstories.
Right.
Yeah.
You see, trade routes are anyway.
Exactly.
So the Jedi Order, the Galactic Republic, we're familiar with those. Prospered for centuries without war. They're, it's a time of, as I said, time of peace.
Yeah.
We have this shadowy concept of in the dark corners of the galaxy, a powerful few. So we know there's more than two, probably, right?
Right.
Learn to use the Force in secret. One of them, a lone assassin, which we know is May, risks discovery to seek revenge, and that's where we start. So we pan down from the stars to the planet Ueda. We get what I like to call suspenseful Force music, where we get like the tinkly sound that we usually hear around when we hear the Force, and like especially around crawls and that kind of thing. But a little bit more with a little bit more suspenseful, a little bit more strings. Music, by the way, by Michael Abels.
Oh, is he new?
He's
to
done
Star
music.
Wars
I think he's new to Star Wars.
Yeah.
He's done music for Nope.
Okay.
For Us. For Get Out. He's obviously been part of that group for a while.
Yeah.
Bunch of stuff that I'm not as familiar with, but I mean those are pretty big. And actually, Nope is such a good movie.
I have not seen it, but I need to.
And the music works in that movie.
Okay.
So
I'm curious about the switch up. I wonder why they.
Well, I think they like. I mean, I'm guessing that like as a showrunner, Leslie Headland gets to make decisions about that. It's not just Kevin Kiner for everything, and presumably he's busy making the next
other stuff.
Animated
yeah,
stuff.
I was gonna say like he's probably doing a lot. And who's the other one? Ludwig
Von Goranson.
But
he didn't even do the scoring. He just did the theme. He created the themes for season 1 of Mando, and then other composers used those themes in season 2 and 3.
Gotcha. Yeah.
So he hasn't even really been as involved
Fair enough.
lately. Anywho, so we start with the opening crawl. We pan down to the planet Ueda, and that's where we start. So we start with an opening shot of May as a hooded figure. We don't know who this is at this time, but as we learn later, her name is May. Hooded figure entering a town through a pergola, I think they're called, right? So that's a classic Star Wars thing that they like to walk under those archways.
Oh, yes.
Anyway, she's paying a street urchin for tips on the whereabouts of a Jedi. We cut to the inside of a bar / cantina. The owner calls it a bar, so I guess we'll call it a bar.
Yeah.
She approaches Master Indara, played by Carrie-Anne Moss, obviously. And then she does this now. She does it 3 times, I think, in the series, in the first 2 episodes. This kind of like whooshy stance thing that she does.
Oh yeah,
and then challenges them to attack me with all your strength, right? And I first of all love the idea of like this Jedi stationed on this planet, just chumming it up at the bar
with the locals,
right? Creating a relationship with the local people. Cool idea. This idea that she would, respond to her with "Yes, my child" in this kind of like priesty type of way, very religious coded.
Yeah.
And then she tries this attack with all your strength. This is obviously her first attempt at this. She gets laughed at. And for that laughter, those people get messed up.
Yeah. Real beat.
Yeah. So she takes on this group of people that was associated with Master Indara. However, there is this one line first. Jedi don't attack the unarmed, says Master Indara. May's response is, yes, you do. So I think there's what's interesting about this show comparatively, I think, to some of the other Star Wars shows is that because we have this like central mystery around, not who is killing the Jedi, but like why, and like who is behind May and all that kind of stuff. We get to unpack clues that I think are being dropped intentionally.
Yes,
obviously,
of course.
right?
Yeah.
And you don't really get that same type of experience with like something like Ahsoka. There's just like what clues there's a few,
right?
But like what is the planet beyond the solar system, all that stuff, that kind of stuff. But
it's not like central to like the motives, right? Like
exactly.
in the plot.
And it's not central to the character. And then so in this case it is. So in this case, there's a belief at this time of peace, Jedi don't attack the unarmed, which I think informs this idea that if you attack at a Jedi unarmed without a weapon,
yes,
right, you're able to engage them in a way that puts them into a more vulnerable position.
Right? Yeah.
And then, but her response is so interesting. Yes, you do, she says to her. Where do you do you think she sees an opposite, she's seen evidence of the contrary in some way?
Yeah, or at least she feels she's seen evidence to the contrary. Like, in your heart of hearts, you feel like these Jedi like haven't done some kind of weird massacre, right? But like to her, it feels like that's what's happened, or that's what she believes has happened. At least like to me, I'm like, the only reason you would need to go and assassinate Jedi and you would say something like that, like, yeah, you do attack unarmed people, means for me is to be like, she thinks she's seen, or she in some way feels that whatever happened to her, she feels wronged in a way that, like I've seen you actually attack unarmed people.
What you're saying is a lie. You're lying to me.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm like, okay, like I guess we'll see like what the deal is with this, right? So it's just intriguing, right?
Yes.
It's a very intriguing, like immediate.
Right away, you're
blip.
like, okay,
you're
interesting.
Like, oh, yeah.
There's conflict. Obviously, conflict is good for storytelling.
Of course,
but
yeah.
It also informs something we hear later in episode 2, which is that Master Torben says about how they thought they were doing the right thing. Right.
Which they always do. The Jedi always think they're doing the right.
Of course, and then every whether it's hero or villain, always feels like they're on the right side of history, or whatever it is. But what's interesting is that there seems to be some event that took place with some of these Jedi, right? Whether it does, and by the way, I will say, Soul does seem to be carrying around a lot of guilt and weight.
Well, and same thing with Torben. Like I feel like he's taken this weird vow of silence. Yeah, like there's guilt there and there's weight there about something.
A decision was made. Someone did something.
Yes, someone. Yeah, exactly. So, I think there's a very intriguing story there. How
old are the twins at the time of the big fire event?
They look
16 years from now. So or before now.
I would say they look right now in their
20s,
like mid late 20s. So they're maybe like under 10, around 10,
10ish,
10 or younger. Right. I would say anywhere between maybe 8, 7, 8.
Do you think
10.
When you're 10 years old, do you think you are? I mean, Batman certainly did, but I'm just saying in general. Do you think you're able to take a vow of revenge?
Absolutely.
At that age, that you commit to the rest of your life. Okay,
I think so. Like if you, especially depending on what happened to you, like if it's. You see your whole family killed.
Well, and they believe that she did it.
Yeah, and that's the thing. It's like, not May. What's
Osha?
Osha thinks May set a fire and killed her whole family, which is like, that's wild to think that your twin sister.
But she wants revenge too, right?
Yeah, and it's like, okay, so evil twin set a fire, killed the whole family is like the overlaying.
Well, there's so many interesting things, like the fact that she's a twin was left off of her record.
Yeah.
It's like, why would that be the case?
Yeah.
We thought we saw her die, so maybe it wasn't relevant or whatever.
Well, it's a thing. And like he, at some point he says he thought he wanted to save both of them, but he couldn't for whatever reason. So there's that kind of layer too. So it's like, May probably feels she probably saw her sister be saved and like felt like she was abandoned too, right?
I don't know.
So then, you're gonna hate the Jedi if you think that they just like came in and fucked shit up and took your
maybe
sister,
killed your parents, or maybe
killed your sister too, because I think she thought her sister was dead.
Exactly. Yeah,
like they both. That's interesting that both of them thought each other was dead.
Yes.
So I'm like, there's so many interesting things about this.
I get that it's like very convenient to be like, well, there's a twin, but like. We only tell the most interesting stories. So if there's a story with a twin, that's more interesting than if there wasn't. So I'm happy to be involved. That's
and identical twins are always cool.
Yes.
Always cool.
I'm fascinated by identical twins.
Too.
And I think most people are, which means I'm sure that people who are identical twins are annoyed as hell with the rest of us for being like, yes, we were dressed the same when we were kids. No, we can't hear each other's thoughts or something.
Yeah, I would never do that. If I had twins, I would not dress them like the same. You know what I mean?
Tell that to Carrie and Ashley's parents.
Yeah. Like I get it when you buy like sets of stuff, but I don't know, whatever.
You got to consider that you really only need to ever buy one size for everything.
That's true.
Which is nice.
But you still just need a lot. But I don't know. I get it, though, why they sometimes have like one twin like that's always sort of in one color and one in another color, because you would mix them up 100%, especially when they're babies.
Yeah, no, 100%. And like,
apparently people put nail polish on identical baby twins' toes now so that they like know which one's which, so they don't mix them up at some point.
And like, there's so many hijinks you can get into as a twin.
I mean, yeah. It's just twins are cool.
And we already got that in episode 2, which is of this series. Okay.
Yeah.
So, action sequence. We get an action sequence. May attacks the patrons in the bar before Indara steps in. What's interesting is that in these fight sequences, both in this one and the one against Soul, she tries to go for the lightsaber.
She does, and I'm curious if like disarming them, like taking their lightsaber, doesn't like, not that it doesn't count, but it's like I wonder if that's part of the rule of her master of being like you have to kill them with their own lightsaber, maybe, or you have to take it from them, and you can use a lightsaber, but only if you take it from them first.
Yeah, I don't know. That feels like a little too convoluted of a
mean, but I don't know.
Right.
But I get it. Like if you're like, oh, you have to go.
B. If you're not allowed to attack
Sith are like that.
Yeah, I guess.
Okay,
right.
they're like with their weird thing. I can see them being like, you can't use your own weapon, but you can kill them with their own.
Yeah,
it's like,
no, that's fair. That right? Kill the dream or whatever.
Yeah.
They say. Anyway, she goes for the lightsaber. I think that's interesting. I'm sure we'll learn more about that. Master Indara tries to find out who trained you. I mean, I guess the idea at this time would be if you are trained in the Jedi arts or you're trained with the Force and not a Jedi, pretty big question mark attached to that, because like there's no competing Force sect, it seems like at this point, that they would be aware of. Like, oh, you must be from this clan that also uses the Force or whatever. Right. So, and as she says, she calls in, she like pulls out her communicator. She said, unidentified Force user. Right. Okay. Fair enough. So we get I really like the use of verticality in this fight. So they move from the lower section to the upper section.
I like that too.
I like how she like leaps up. It's a very Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon.
That's what I mean. That's what gave me Kill Bill vibes when she like runs up the banister of the stairs, like get up there. I was like, it looked so neat. Yes. And very, very fluid motions, kind of. But I don't know. I
almost
also
dance like.
Yeah. I also really like seeing people use the Force, but by using other weapons. It's very neat that she's kind of using the Force sort of with those daggers. Is like kind of cool, because I've never really thought about that in terms of being able to use the Force.
For those, by the way, I don't know what they're called, but
those like throwing daggers.
There's a Japanese word for them.
Oh, I don't
remember
not
what it is.
Too sure, but
Ghost of Tsushima has the name for it. I can't. Anyway, it's like a ninja star. Essentially.
Yeah. But like, the throwing daggers is like, I've never thought about maybe using like a Force push or like to use the Force to bring them back to you and to throw them. It's like you would have that extra like volatility to them.
I thought what was interesting, it was like, I don't know if this is nitpicking, but when she goes to like for the stab move, right?
Yeah.
And then Indara has like the Force like push to like hold her back.
Yeah.
But like her arm is already fully extended. Oh. So it's like, how are you?
Yeah.
There's no.
Is
she pushing herself with the Force into her? I don't know. I just feel like it's a cool visual, but it's like it doesn't really. If you fully extend and you miss, if you're still further away than the edge of the blade,
it's like then
you don't need the Force. You're just already.
I didn't even catch that.
The physics just allow you to be further away. Anyway, that's a nitpick. I think it's fine. I think most of the time it looks really cool.
Yeah.
And it just, as you said, like visually interesting. And a fresh look at kind of how the Jedi would have behaved in a time when they were much more structured.
Yeah, more structured and a little. They're not just going for their lightsaber right away. So it's interesting to see more of that like hand. Yeah. True. It's interesting to see more of that like hand-to-hand combat, which I always like seeing in these shows, especially that's a lot of skill.
I'm trying to think of like how much hand-to-hand combat we really even see in Star Wars, and I feel like it's not much.
It really isn't, and that's why it's always cool when you do get to see it, because it's a lot of it is more like Force push and flipping and like sword fighting. It's not necessarily like hand-to-hand.
Right. We actually haven't seen any lightsaber combat as per se. It's just a lot of people drawing their lightsabers but not using them.
Yeah.
She does eventually draw her saber. We do get a musical fanfare for that. And it's green. I'm just going to not acknowledge the color of them as we go. So Indara has a green lightsaber. We learn that a Jedi doesn't pull her weapon unless prepared to kill, right? I don't know if have you ever watched Justified?
No.
It's a great show. it's like a modern Western. And it stars the guy who plays in Book of Boba Fett, the like that in that small town on Tatooine.
Oh wait, are you talking about
Timothy Olyphant?
Timothy Olyphant? Yeah, okay.
It stars Timothy Olyphant, and he's cool as fuck.
Yeah,
and he wears a cowboy hat, and it's like the year 2012, so it's like it's not that.
Okay,
it's and he walks around Kentucky.
Yeah.
And anyway, people call him out on it, but it's cool as hell, and he's just like really cool guy. But he always talks about when he like pulls his gun, he's like if I pull this, it's to put you down. There's no other use of this than for that.
Yeah.
Right. And so same idea, I think. And it's a cool idea. It's like if you pull your weapon, you need to be prepared to use it.
Oh, of course. Yeah. That's like the general, term of like even like cops nowadays. Like that's like their whole thing. Like pulling a weapon is like, yeah, if you pull your weapon, you're better be prepared to use it. Right.
Right.
But yeah, no, I do find it
He's
very...
a cop, by the way, in Justified.
Yeah, okay, yeah. That's also, as soon as you said Justified, I was like the Justin Timberlake CD?
Great. You mean his original solo album?
Solo album.
So good. Yeah. Cry Me a River, Senorita. So many good songs off of that. Don't even get me started. That's a great album.
It's a great album. Yeah. But I do love that it's May who keeps saying these rules to her, though. So I'm like, ooh, that tells me that like she's been...
indoctrinated.
Taught these rules of like, and almost like she's saying them back
to like her. You're not allowed to. This is the rules that
like,
you have to
a Jedi
follow.
doesn't do this.
I don't
a Jedi
have to follow
doesn't do
these
that.
things.
Yeah, right. Like it's very, it's kind of like when they say it to Ahsoka, and she's like, "I'm no Jedi." Like Jedis don't.
But in this
seek
case,
revenge or whatever it is.
What's so cool is that when she says that, she like thinks about it. She's like, you know what, you're right. I'm not. And then she puts her lightsaber away. Right.
Right.
Anyway, May threatens the bartender. And when he uses that distraction to stab Indara with a knife through the heart.
Yes.
And that puts the end
very
of this fight.
Shady.
It's just a dirty pool.
Dirty fighting.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is dirty fighting. Do you find the lightsabers, because kind of looking at the photo here, they're a little thick, hey?
People said, I saw this on the hilts themselves or the blades?
The blades. The blades look extra chonky. Like, not in a bad way. I think they look good and they're bright, but I feel like they look really thick.
I think...
I don't know. Mad about it.
I mean, so people were complaining about the hilts being like really thick.
Oh, okay. No, it's not the hilts that...
I'm not... I can't... Listen, I don't have a problem with it. Do they look as good as they did in like Revenge of the Sith when they look their absolute
they look really
badass?
That's what I mean. I feel like these look way thicker than...
I just don't understand. Like, why can't we recreate the Revenge of the Sith look?
I just feel like every show kind of wants to do its own thing with like how they look.
Why?
I don't know.
Why? This is one of those things. Listen, like I don't want to be one of those.
Preparing us for lightsaber whip.
I don't want to be that guy, but like there is things that don't need to change. Like the way that a lightsaber looks can pretty much, when ignited, the blade should probably have a consistent look and feel from whatever you're in.
I kind of agree.
Like, get out of here, Rebels, and your skinny blades.
That's what I mean. If you go from Rebels, like the skinny blade to this, and they're wide, but and they're quite round on the like.
I think like the tip. I would like a pointier tip.
Pointier tip, yeah. I was like, they're supposed to be a little sharper, but yeah, whatever. Right. I'm not mad about it. I was just thinking, I'm like, maybe
it's a style of the lightsabers at the time.
Could be, yeah. It literally could be. Like you can like dial them in a different way, or like the hilts, right? Like, it's all about how you make your own. It
seems like you can be pretty broad in terms of how you create your own.
I mean, if you can like shorten them and like because Yoda's got like
shorten them
way
or longer. Mace
Windu
has a longer one.
Yeah,
like there's different. Yeah, 100%. Yeah. Anyway, that's the end of Indara, although we both think that we'll probably see her again.
I think in flashbacks, 100%.
All right, so we continue. We meet Asha now for the first time. She's waking up from a nightmare. This is May's twin sister. Again, as I said before, confused me.
Mm-hmm.
At first, just for a moment.
Yeah.
Just for a moment.
I did too, because I was like,
is it a flashback?
I was like, is that a dream?
Right.
Yeah.
And then like, I do like the way that they had the camera follow her as she sat up. I think that's that's one of those like an interesting camera move. More of that would be.
Yeah. I wasn't necessarily jumping to twin right away. I thought shapeshifter.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I was like, oh, maybe the other one's like in my, I was just thinking like, oh, maybe the other person's like a shapeshifter.
Impersonating her.
Yeah. That's kind of what I thought. Like not necessarily a twin.
I was like, it's like, is this in the past? Is it in the future? Where are we? It's it's confusing at first, but you get your feet under you.
But I think that's the point.
Yeah,
like,
it's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah. We also meet Pip, the new droid. I think everyone's going to like. It looks like a PDA, but it's...
PDA? Like a Palm Pilot?
Yeah, it does. But it's her like pocket droid, which is really cool.
A pocket droid is so cute.
Yes.
I don't know. I love it.
I would have one.
100%. Yeah. Like,
I mean, I guess we're not that far away.
And he's more like a handy tool too. Like, you know, when you can get those like multi-tools that like guys like to have. Yeah. Where it's like
guys
Swiss
like,
Army.
They're convenient and I have one.
Yeah, I figured you would. Yeah. But a multi-tool that's a droid that can talk to you?
Yes.
Adorable.
Our phones are going to be able to talk to us very soon. So we're not that far away from having.
They pretty much already can. Like, everything has AI in it.
Yeah. Asha changes into her work uniform, and there's been some sort of she has a job, they say, which of course has a vest. She has a very like kind of almost like rebel pilot Han Solo type of look going on.
Kind of mechanic. Yeah.
We meet a coworker of hers, Philic. Anyway, she gets chastised for not attending a work trip,
which I think they're trying to like be like, oh, she could have been the one who did it,
right?
Because she wasn't here with us last night.
No, I didn't really pin that, but you're right, 100%. Anyway, they could have gone to Nar Shaddaa. That was like, you missed a good trip to Nar Shaddaa.
Mm-hmm.
Nar Shaddaa, one of the few like references to things that of places we were familiar with later in the timeline. Nar Shaddaa, nicknamed Smuggler's Moon, was the notorious moon of the planet Nal Hutta, home of the Hutt species.
Yeah.
Right. It was home to a large criminal underworld dominated by bounty hunters and Hutt crime lords. An ecumenopolis, the entire surface of Nar Shaddaa was covered in urban sprawl.
Oh, that's cool.
It was the homeworld of Pali Duvin, bounty hunter, Aurra Sing.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
The Zabrak Jedi Master, Koth.
I
don't know. And the Jablogian enslaver, Asmorgian.
Oh, okay, yeah, he's in Rebels.
Yeah,
he's that like big, gross looking like pig.
Oh yeah,
pig
right.
guy.
Yes.
Yeah,
the pig guy. Yeah. Anyway, love an Ecunopolis. You know, Coruscant's another one of those. And Nar Shaddaa's got to be one of the coolest names of anything.
Yeah.
So yeah, cool reference. That one obviously not hard to miss. Anyway. We also see a version of a Gonk droid, like an early Gonk droid here, which is fun. And we get to see some Nemoidians, which we haven't seen really since episode 1.
I thought that was cool. I was like, oh, Nemoidians. Okay.
Yeah.
Do you think they sounded a little less racist?
They did. They intentionally went with something that sounded less racist. 100%.
I was listening and I was like, I think they made them sound a little less.
Yeah, I mean, they can't just be racist characters.
No, they can't. And I was just like, I'm glad that they like fixed it in a way that they still sound like Nemoidians in a way, like right, like it.
Right.
But they didn't need to have.
And they are the Trade Federation still.
Yeah.
So that like
they're
that all
doing
works.
the same shit.
Right.
It's like. Yeah.
Like,
why do they need shields? The Trade Federations never use shields.
Exactly.
Just wait.
It's fun. I think all that stuff is cool.
There's
more stuff that's similar to that later that I think is even more interesting.
Yeah.
So we learn that the emergency is a repair to the shield generator. She says that Trade Feds never use shields.
Yeah.
Then we find out what Asha's job actually is. She's going on a spacewalk, which, again, something we rarely see in Star Wars.
Never see. And like
people going outside into space.
Like a human in a spacesuit is cool.
In the cartoons, we see it occasionally.
Well, you see Jedi kind of not...
Sometimes.
Well, we see... Who is it?
We see Leia
Plo
do it.
Koon.
Plo Koon does it.
But he's got more of like... He's got a little like mask thing that he can do.
Yeah,
usually it's like in atmosphere. It's not like in space.
But again,
right?
Leia does it in episode 8.
Mary Poppins it.
But no one likes it, but it's been seen. It's not the first time it happens.
Yeah, there's a lot of people who've been like sucked back in after like being pushed out, like saved.
The scientists keep coming back and forth on like how long you could actually survive in the vacuum of space.
Yeah, I guess you don't really know.
It was, it used to be like, like 30 seconds max, and now it's like upwards of like a minute and a half or something.
Is it like how long you can hold your breath for?
No, because your lungs would implode, actually.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Ouch.
But yeah. Anyway, it's more like how quickly you'd freeze. So, anywho, she is a mechanic, which is a term we've never really heard before. But we learn what this is. It's a mechanic that works on the exterior of ships,
right?
Essentially,
which is normally what like the droids
do.
Would do.
And this is what I think is so cool because they say we get this, and this is kind of the prequelism that I was talking about before. But this idea that like, the new regulations are that only droids are allowed to do that work.
Yes.
And then, of course, in episode 1, the very first thing that we see is R2 working on the exterior of a ship, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then they reference later that only R2 droids are allowed to do that. I don't know like why they specifically said R2 droids specifically. I feel like that feels like a weird specificism. But I feel like I know why, because we know who R2-D2 is. But you could have just said astromechs and it would have been just as good.
Yeah.
Right? Because R4 is also an astromech.
So is Chopper. He's an astromech.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it's like, and those aren't R2s.
No.
you know, and like, what about the R1s? Like, was that, you know, I don't, anyway.
They were inside boys.
There's only inside boys. Exactly.
Yeah, they couldn't go outside. But yeah, no, I do think it's very cool that it's like, oh, you're not like supposed to use humans. Like,
right.
It's like you're, you know, the new regulations are you have to use droids, but they're still
because they're cheap. Because the Trade Federation's always notoriously cheap as hell.
Yeah. Well, wait, are humans cheaper than droids though?
As the Neimoidian says, their cargo is not what does they say? The workers are disposable, but the cargo is not. Right.
Gotcha. Yeah.
So anyway, and they can pay them. I guess I don't know. You like droids, you don't have to pay them at all. I don't know.
But I guess you have to buy the droid, so I don't know how expensive a droid is.
Yeah. Maybe droids are more expensive at this time.
Yeah.
Because later it seems like everyone has a droid. You know, if Uncle Owen can afford to buy a astromech, two droids on a farmer's salary.
Yeah, I don't know.
Come on. Anyway, they are used.
Yeah.
Anyway, during the job, she blows a pressure valve, causes a fire. People are complaining about the fire thing, but Star Wars is not real life.
There's always been fire in space in Star Wars.
Exactly.
Like things
and
explode all the
too.
time. So whatever.
Yeah.
Get over it.
We do see the Neimoidians complain about not having the shields. I like how she's like, "Yeah, we can hear you," which is a fun kind of quippy Star Wars line. Anyway, the causes a fire, and the fire seems to cause her to like slip into a flashback, like a little bit of PTSD. Obviously, we find out later that's because her parents died in a fire. So,
right.
And what she also assumed her sister. As she repairs the shield generator, a Jedi fighter appears. Really cool design for this Jedi ship. Drops out of hyperspace. And you know, we get this line from her colleague. It's like, "Oh, friends of yours?" And just at this point, we don't really know the context, but we find out later that, of course, she was a former Jedi. So, there you are. We meet Yord Fandor. It's Fandar, I guess. But and Tassie Loa, which is his Padawan.
Her hair was cool.
Yeah, I don't know. I thought all these. I think they all look cool.
She looks so cool. I was like immediately like, I remember sidetrack in high school. In the like punk rock group, girls used to dye their hair like that in like the stripes,
right?
Like the horizontal stripes, and I always thought they looked so cool.
It is.
They'd always be like not all their hair, but it'd be like one chunk. So it would be like a chunk of blue hair that had like black stripes going down, and it always looked so cool. But so I was like immediately I saw that,
especially with like you straighten your hair, and then it's like you get like the really clean lines.
The clean lines, yeah. It always looks so cool. I was always so jealous of them. Like, man, you look so neat. So I was like immediately pumped about
I could never do that. I could never pull that off.
Yeah, exactly. So it was never punk rock enough or emo enough.
Frosty tips?
No.
Okay.
Yeah, get some actually.
Yeah, okay. I'll get right on that.
Get some right now.
Later.
It would look great.
Yeah. Anyway, so we meet Yord Fandar and Tassie Loa. So they're looking for Osha, sorry. Oshi's her nickname.
Her nickname, yes.
The Neimoidians claim to not have any passengers. This is a cargo ship, and that mechanics are no longer allowed to perform outer ship repairs. Has to be droids now. Anyway, it seems like he threatens him with a mind trick.
Yeah,
which seems like everyone's very afraid of, which is interesting.
Yeah.
And they're like, okay, actually, she's just down there.
They're just like, go. Yeah, who cares?
Anyway, Yord is waiting for her in her bunk, happy to see him and proud of him for making Jedi Knight.
Yeah.
Right? She hasn't seen him for 6 years. He mentions that Corpsec is far away from Coruscant as you can get. Corpsec is short for corporate sector. It's a remote sector of space in the galaxy's outer rim at the front end of the Tingle Arm. And it created in order to resolve differences between Galactic Republic lawmakers and the heads of many of Galaxy's largest corporations. So it's like a private reserve for businesses, essentially.
Okay. I guess it makes sense why the Trade Federation would be there.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I guess so.
Yeah.
Anyway, I just love how Yord is so like skittish. She goes to like put her droid away, and he goes for his saber, and he has her take a seat because he's like, okay, this is going to be pretty big. We're going to do some questioning if if you're gonna want to sit down. So we find out a little. They do the inquiry. We get a little backstory here. She's been a mechanic for 6 years since she left the Order. I love how she says, Jedi skills not very transferable.
Right. Yeah.
Which what
Fair.
we've seen is actually not true. That Jedi skills are actually very transferable, but mostly if you want to be like a private investigator,
right, or a bounty hunter,
or a bounty hunter.
or
exactly.
yeah.
Anyway, she joined the Order when she was 8. We find out just like Anakin, it was like a big deal to bring on someone that age.
Right.
How old? Anakin's 10 years old.
He's 10.
Yeah. She was older than normal, and she was mourning. Right. So again, she's similar to Anakin, going through Anakin, although his mom was still alive at that time.
I was just gonna say, I was like, it might be a little bit different though, like mourning versus like she has no family. So it's like she has mourning attachments, but she has no like actual attachments anymore.
Right. But he does. Soul does say that attachments you have lost are the hardest to get to let go of.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah.
Anyway, so she says that my circumstances were unique, but the council made their decision. We learned that her mother's, so this is another thing that I'm sure people will get mad about. Her mother's and her sister died in a fire. The speculation is that she comes from sort of like some like
matriarchal,
or some like women only tribe situation, right? Kind of like the Night Sisters or whatever.
Yes, yeah.
Or the Mountain Tribe or whatever.
Yeah. People are mad about that, of course.
Yeah, of course
they're mad about everything.
Anyway, he says attachment to those who have lost are the most difficult to let go. Right? Really find that. I think even does it Yord say that? No, I guess I'm trying to wonder who said that. Anyway,
yeah.
I just assume that all the cool lines are coming from Soul, but I guess they're not. Anyway, they revealed that Master Indara was murdered, and the suspect matches her description. They want to know about her whereabouts. She said, "I was here the whole time," which I think would be pretty easy to validate.
Like if she left the ship or not, right? But I don't know.
We are learned that Indara advised the council that when she left the Order, but she's like, it was my decision to leave. Again, we get kind of these like confluences with characters that we're familiar with. She kind of joined the Order similar to Anakin, but she left the Order similar to Ahsoka.
Ahsoka, yeah, exactly.
We don't know why, but she knows that she did so. We don't know what Indara said. I guess they're trying to find motive. She's like, doesn't necessarily believe that that's what it would be.
Right.
And then ultimately she's like, listen, you think that I have the ability to overpower a Jedi Master and kill her? Like how? It's just like, I would or betray the Order. Like, why would I do any of those things? Like, it doesn't make any sense. And she's like, he's such a stick in the mud. He's like, well, it doesn't matter what I think. Right.
Yeah.
I'm just here. I'm just doing my job. Classic. Anyway, she's sent back to Coruscant on a prison transport manned by droids, which is also similar to the prison transports we see the Republic use in the New Republic era.
Right, yeah.
But with different droids. These ones turn into chairs.
Yeah, those ones, I was like,
so
cool.
So
right?
cool. Yeah.
And again, that gives me very like Japanese, like space-saving tiny house vibes where like everything has a specific function and like 100%. A double function, and it's just like it makes so much sense. It's like, yeah, like why wouldn't your droids that man the controls when there's not people on it also be chairs?
Yes,
I was like, that's
it's
so
genius.
Cute. So
it's genius.
Cute.
Yeah,
like I loved it. I also want a droid chair. Like imagine if your car could do that.
Ah,
Tesla should take some.
Yeah, take some notes. Elon.
Yeah. I want my car seat to be able to drive my own car.
Yeah. It's funny because it's like, in theory, you wouldn't need the seat to do it. You can just do it itself, but it's way cooler if the seat does it.
Yeah, it's sweet. I was like, that's hilarious. I loved it.
Okay, so we then go back to Coruscant, something that we haven't actually spent a lot of time on with most stuff from Star Wars as of late. So cool to see it. Coruscant not as built up as we see it in the kind of Skywalker saga timeline. It's the Jedi Temple itself is a little bit further off the ground.
Yeah.
And you see a little bit more greenery around the exterior. Anyway, so we're at the Jedi Temple. We meet Master Soul as he instructs younglings, talking about diving into a great ocean.
Right.
Imagine yourself diving into a great ocean. Your eyes can deceive you. That classic line, from Obi-Wan in the original film. It's interesting, though. So in the original trailer, everyone assumed that this little girl who sees fire consumes everything.
Yeah. Is bad.
Well, they thought that this was like a young version of Osha or May. But obviously not.
No.
So that's a misdirect. But interesting. I just found this whole thing interesting, right? In the future version of the Jedi, if a kid said that, the kid would probably be kicked right out of the Jedi order. Right?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Wrong answer. Bye.
Yeah,
right?
You're like, oh.
And this time it's like it's a little bit different. He's like, he does clock it as like, that's not great.
Yeah.
But he is like, he does kind of reframe it as, the force is powerful like ocean or like fire.
Yeah.
It needs to be respected. The power needs to be respected. Right. Which I think is a cool
And
approach.
it is just like a thing, when you ask kids questions, like they interpret things their own way, right? So it is cool to see the different way that these kids interpret the force, right? And like see it in their mind. But but of course, as soon as any like kid is like fire, you're like, whoa.
Right. Well, I think
get rid of that kid.
Right.
Yeah.
No matches for you.
Take him back to his parents.
Yeah.
Or her, sorry.
Yeah. Well, we also hear other lines that are like reminiscent of Rey, right? Like balance and life and those kind of things.
Yes.
Cool.
Yeah. But when you go from like balance and life to fire, you're like, whoa.
Yeah. Right.
But it's true though. It's like it's powerful and it can be all consuming and it's
right.
She's not wrong.
Right. No, exactly. But I think the distinction here is that they were much more. They're taking a different approach to how you would
of how you
teach this.
Teach it. Yes, exactly. You take that moment and you like teach it in a proper way.
Black and white.
Yes, exactly.
So we then meet Master Vanestra Rowe, as you mentioned, a character that we know from the books. This is really the only character I think that is we're familiar with.
From what I remember, yes, because she's the Padawan of Stellan Gios in the books. Yeah, so she's obviously quite a bit younger.
She's like a big deal, like high,
Oh yeah, because she
Jedi.
became a Jedi Master. She's the youngest person to have ever, person to become a Jedi Knight. Because she became a Jedi Knight, I believe she's like 16 or something.
Cool. All right.
That's part of her whole like lore, and then she's a Jedi Master like relatively early too. So
okay. Anyway, so we meet her, and we don't get to see much of her really, to be honest. But she has a presence about being like important.
Yes. Yeah.
Anyway, they exchange some pleasantries before talking about his old Padawan Osha. He seems to have a strong attachment to her based on his reaction. She even clocks that. He says that, talking about Osha, that Indara and him saved her from a terrible fire. That she saw us as her protectors. There must be some mistake. Her assumption is that this accusation that she killed Indara makes no sense based on what he knows of this Padawan. Right. But again, it's just all this, I think, fascinating approach to this, which is much more interesting than we normally see in Star Wars, at least of late, where it's like, okay, this Jedi clearly has a strong attachment, where it's like when we see former Jedi Padawan relationships in the other movies, it's like very passing. It's like, oh yeah, Yoda trained Dooku, but like,
right.
That's basically all we know, and they have like no relationship together.
Right.
We don't really see them.
Yeah.
Or their approaches, So, I just think it's interesting to kind of see this very like visceral connection. Obviously Anakin to Ahsoka, and how he, if someone referenced her, you might feel that same way.
Yeah,
but that's just that.
Well, even like Obi-Wan
raw...
to Anakin too, right? Like it's like they did have a little bit more of like emotion and connection, but then that's always deemed as like not right.
But we just don't see very much of it.
No,
at all.
No,
so
it's
don't. Just nice to see it. It's just different.
Yeah.
And it's just more emotionally interesting. So, anyway, there's this interesting scene here where they whisper this line. I guess they whisper about how news of a former Jedi killing their own could be used against them by their political enemies.
Right.
And they want to deal with the matter quickly and make example out of Osha, assuming it was her, right?
Right.
The evidence is strong, right? This is an example of how the Jedi are on the path of losing their way.
Yes,
right?
yeah.
More concerned about their political positioning than about what is considered right and wrong, or who's responsible, right? Who are the Jedi's political enemies?
I mean, at this point, we don't really know, right?
I've never really understood who. I've never understood who. Even in the time of later, it's like, what is the Senate a political? No, they are affiliated with them in a lot of ways.
I would assume it's maybe like other under syndicate things, like the Hutts, or like other
right. They're like, this policing is too much policing. We don't like this policing.
Like other worlds who don't want, like Mandalorians, like that kind of stuff. Like people who don't want to be part of their republic at all.
Don't get your nose out of my business. We want to commit crimes. What's the big deal?
Yeah, I just want to do bad shit over here. Okay. Yeah.
Anyway, I just think that's funny.
Yeah.
Anyway, she does say, regardless of your feelings about Osha, do I have your support in this endeavor? And he's like, of course. By the way, there was some criticism I saw from a couple of different outlets about the like line deliveries and accent that it's pretty thick accent that Saul has from Li Young Ye. I see it, but it doesn't really bother me, I guess.
Like, do you think they're asking him to put on a thicker accent than he has?
English is not his first language, obviously, and he's not used to acting in English, so this is a new thing for him. But I guess what I'm saying is that to me it adds an air of authenticity to the world, or someone who is like where basic isn't their first language.
Basic isn't their first language. Right. Yeah, exactly. That's such a silly thing to critique him as an actor.
Well, it's possible that you could see that the line deliveries are harder to achieve, so that the impact of those deliveries are not achieving what was intended, because it's being lost a little bit in the language distortion stuff. But again, I think it's a bit limp as a criticism, but I think it's not necessarily. I don't think it's racist or anything to point out that someone who doesn't speak English might be their deliveries of English lines might be different, right? Yeah, and I think that's just like, if anything, like you said, it's more authentic to the world of all these different characters and aliens who speak their own languages and don't all speak basic, and it's like, yeah, like of course you would have interactions, but yeah, I understand where people come from. I guess like with in terms of the line delivery, but I never noticed that in a way that it took me out of anything. I think it's great. I think it's pretty good performance. So it's not really that bothersome. Yeah, there's nothing like, I'm not going to sit here and be like, oh, that's bad acting. Like to me, it just makes it the world more. To be honest, I think his acting is better when he's not speaking. I'll be honest. I think he has a lot of time. We spend a lot of time just looking at his face and thinking about stuff and reacting to things. I think he's a good actor. I think he's not conveying necessarily what I'm seeing behind the eyes with his deliveries as much. But again, it's not. I don't think it's a big deal. No, I didn't necessarily notice that either, because he's more of a stoic character to me. Yes. So I think that those line deliveries, doing them the way he does, like naturally, like fit. I don't know. I just think it fits the character more. It gives them a little bit more. I don't know, not nuance, but it's just like it's the character. It works. Like, it just works. This is like, I don't know. It's not like this is not a character that we've seen before played by a new actor or like someone from a book that we've never. It's like this is a brand new character. So that's just how they talk. It's just how they talk. Yeah, I didn't. That's what I mean. I didn't even like clock that. Like I was just like, and it's not like as Star Wars fans we haven't seen bad acting, because we have. Yeah, exactly. Like, you think this is the worst acting you've seen in Star Wars? It's not. Have you seen Anakin? Yeah. Anyway, no we love him now. He's so nice, but he's such a nice guy. Have we seen episode 2? Have you seen that little? Have you seen that message? Have you seen that little message he sends to one of the actors on here about like welcoming? Like, oh, welcome to Star Wars. It's very cute, but even that video message, I'm like, man, this guy is not. Yeah, it's like not a great actor. Yeah, you can't be mad at this, and then when there's I hate sand out there. Yeah, so exactly. Yeah, better writing in this show. Yeah. So we cut to the prison ship. We need to move a little faster here. We cut to the prison ship. We see a prisoner with a weird thing on his face. Turns out it's a diebuck. Oh yeah, parasite, that thing was gross. Used to subdue violent criminals. What a cool idea. Yeah. This is a cool sci-fi concept. It was like very, what is it, Alien? It's totally a face hugger situation. Face suckers or face huggers. It does weird stuff to your brain, says one of the it's cool. Right? Very cool. And I think it comes back later in an interesting way, but we'll talk about that. Weird that Jedi are using it, though. Like, I feel like that's like the Republic. Oh, okay. Right? Yeah, okay. Fair enough. But it's a humane way of subduing a violent criminal, right? It's like, oh no, he's like, is he in pain? No, he's having a great time. Yeah, he's having a great time. Yeah. Anyway, the rest of the prisoners are planning an escape. She's not really into the idea. She's like, oh, cool, love your initiative, but we're in hyperspace. So, and I'm not sure if she's like saying that in a way it's like that could kill us, in the sense that my understanding of that timeline or the time frame is that during the High Republic era, hyperspace travel is more dangerous. Yeah, it's not as there's. Oh, see, that's the whole thing. Are not mapped. There's not as many routes mapped, and that's like a whole big thing in those High Republic novels. Right, is about hyperspace and how the Nile, they're like the bad guy pirates in that thing. So they're able to navigate hyperspace in a different way than the Jedi do, and they're like, what the fuck? Like, how are they able to do that? Right. So there's at one point they cause a really bad like crash because they
interrupt a hyperspace lane. And the higher Republic Jedi,
yeah, that's like the big event.
Yeah, they don't understand how that was, and like all these debris are falling out of hyperspace and like crashing into another planet, and like so like that's this whole big event that happens, right?
Right. Okay. That's the Starlight Beacon situation.
That's like the Starlight Beacon thing. So it's they're able to map whatever spoilers. The Nihil are able to map hyperspace lanes like using like a person almost. So there's like a person that like
a navigator.
Style. That like navigates the routes, and like other people use navigators like in this time too. But
in Jedi, I believe Force users are able to.
Force users are, and like they kind of age out at some point. Like they're in the Thrawn novels, sort of too. So if you're Force sensitive, you're kind of a navigator.
Okay.
So like the Chiss kind of do that, and that's why like the people don't understand how like the Chiss are able to navigate hyperspace the way that they do as well. So it's a whole big like hyperspace thing. But yes, like hyperspace is a little more dangerous and messier at this point because the routes aren't established.
Right. So in this case, it's not clear if that's what she's referencing here, but in general, she just thinks it's a bad idea.
Yeah.
To drop out of hyperspace in this way.
I mean, it always is. You don't know where you are or what you're doing.
Like the center of a star or whatever they say.
Yeah. Or like an asteroid field. Like you don't know where you are.
Which is what happens. Well, okay. So one of the convicts uses his like mechanical droid implants. Such a cool look this guy's got. He's like fully droided, his mouth, his eyes, like his brain, everything, right? And this takes out the droid pilots, the chair ones. This causes the ship to drop out of hyperspace and into an asteroid field. Another convict uses like their tentacle to take out the guard and uses its arm to unlock the cells and they all leave on one of the escape pods.
Mm-hmm.
It's funny that they don't get very far. I think that's hilarious.
Yeah.
Anyway, Osha uses Pip to unlock her own cell. She has a hard time reaching it. She tries to use the Force, but can't.
Yeah, can't.
Which is interesting. Either she's blocked or she's not. She's out of practice, or
and I think this is also like another little like blip that it's not her, right? Like because it's like we see May, and May can use the Force,
exactly,
and it's like exactly.
It's cool that she can like take off its head and like use it.
As, it's like a tool, but it's a multi-tool. Yeah.
Anyway, she heads to the escape pod, but sympathizes with the prisoner with the parasite on its face. So she removes the parasite, which floats away up into the ceiling.
Yeah.
Which causes the prisoner to wake up and then steal the last escape pod. It's
nuts.
so and runs away. It's so funny.
At first, when he had the thing on his face, I thought he was Dennis from It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
Oh,
right.
Okay.
I was just like, is that? But then it was off today. I was like, oh, it's not. Okay. I was like, that's a wild cameo.
I also think it's cool that like because the ship is unpowered and when the escape pods eject, the ship gets moved or pushed.
Yeah.
I think it's a cool like
cool physics thing, right?
Yeah. Which again normally doesn't apply, but who cares?
Yeah.
When it does, it's cool. So anyway, this sends the ship crashing down to the planet below.
This was the only part in like the whole 2 episodes where I was like, like. You can really just crash from hyperspace, outer space onto a planet and just like buckle yourself in and like live.
Yeah.
That seems a little like whatever.
The 2 escape pods leaving slowed down their approach and then coming in through the atmosphere slows them down further, I think.
Fair enough.
That's my best guess.
Yeah, your best guess.
Anyway, she does strap herself in and braces herself.
Yeah.
For the impact. So that's how she survives, right? And it's also unclear if she, we'll get to it anyway.
Yeah.
So we go back to Coruscant. We catch up with Saul, looking at a holo of Osha. I love someone who's just staring at a picture or something.
Yeah,
it's so funny.
Yeah.
Anyway, he's interrupted by Jecki Lon. I think this is his Padawan.
I think so.
Or it's not clear, but
I think so because Yord, his Padawan is the other one because he just became Jedi Knight, like whatever, however long ago, and then this is another Padawan.
Okay. I like Jecki, not Jackie. To be clear, it's Jecki with an E.
Yeah, she's also very cool.
I think she's got like a cool vibe.
Yeah, she does.
Anyway, Jecki lets him know that Venestra is looking for him in the detainment level. Anyways, before he goes, she asks why he's looking at the holo, which I think is love this. It's like don't just gloss over it.
Yeah,
be like, hey. It's weird to stare at an old photo of somebody.
Yeah, she like calls him out. Like, isn't that kind of an attachment?
She says it encourages sentimentality and nostalgia.
Mm-hmm.
Both of these emotions can lead to getting us cut off.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't think what she's gonna say is can lead to the dark side. I don't think that's what she's saying.
Right.
But like that's what we're being hinted at.
Of course. Yeah.
encourages sentimentality and nostalgia, which I think this is I think this is such a brilliant line because it is, I think, a direct indictment of all those people who are angry all the time.
Yeah.
Because and again, they obviously address it here in a much more story focused way. And I'm not necessarily saying that's what it is, but I just feel like you can interpret it that way. And that's, I have.
Yeah.
Because they're basically saying is he's looking at the past and he's saying that, or she's saying that sentimentality and nostalgia are a weakness, that they are a trap, that they can hold you, right? And his response is, our memories are lessons. If you don't meditate on the past, you're doomed to repeat it.
Right.
Which is a fun kind of twist on the, if you don't learn from history, you're doomed to repeat it.
Yeah, you're doomed to repeat it. Yeah.
Right. But I just think that's it's a great Jedi lesson that we get here. We just get so little of that. The prequels get some of it. We get some of that in the prequels, right? And especially with Yoda and all that. But that stuff is the most enduring stuff, right?
Right, yeah.
Ultimately, a lot of it is truisms, right? And the reason that we call them truisms is because they're just inherent. They just feel inherently true,
right?
One of Yoda's best lines in Episode 8 is about how a master's job is to be surpassed by their student,
right?
And it's we've heard that a million times. Failure, yes, failure. The greatest lesson, greatest teacher, failure is, right?
Yeah.
Again, a truism. We know these things to be true, but when taught to a Padawan in this Jedi Padawan dynamic, it really locks in for me.
Yeah.
And it's satisfying. Anyway, any thoughts on that?
No, I liked it too. I always because I feel like Padawans, they hear these rules sometimes and they're very strict with them in themselves. And then it takes a more wisdom of a Jedi master to talk about those rules, but not twist them, but to branch off and be well, no, it's not just black and white. There's a little bit more to it.
Right, think about it this way.
Yeah. So, and I think that's always been a more of a critique of the Jedi in the later times, that they're too strict with no attachments, no this, no that. And it's I think you need a little bit of attachments.
Or maybe
it's
too abstract.
Yeah.
Let's be a little bit more direct with our lessons here.
Yeah,
right?
exactly. Right. So it's I would still love to see Jedi eventually who do have attachments and who can.
Right. We'll see in the new Jedi Order movie.
Exactly. That's kind of what we're waiting for a little bit.
Right. You also like to see a Padawan who's interrogating.
Yeah,
their
they're
master
of course, always.
That's a fun,
yeah.
I
get the feeling that Jackie's very she's a by the book.
Yeah,
Padawan.
but also sharp. We know that. We see that later.
Yeah.
Anyway, in the detainment center, the prisoners who escaped are being held in a cell.
Yeah.
They're it was the Jedi killer's fault. She did it.
Oh
yeah,
my God. Yeah.
Anyway, they're all blaming Osha. The ship went down over Karlak. That's the snowy planet that she's on. Saul uses a Jedi mind trick on the crazy one.
Yeah.
the violent one.
To calm him.
And to calm his mind. And he reveals that she helped him and that he betrayed her.
Mm-hmm.
Which she's Finestra's well, that doesn't mean she's not guilty.
Yeah.
It's okay, Finestra, we get it.
Yeah.
Okay. You want to deal with this situation quickly, but there's maybe more to it than that.
Exactly.
Anyway, Saul wants to go to Karlak and bring her in himself. He can sense that she's still alive, right? Finestra doesn't want to send him, says that he's more valuable at the temple, all that stuff. But he does convince her to send a small team. He does. I like the line. It's if she's guilty, it is my failure, right? As the teacher, right? I failed you, Anakin.
Yeah.
Right.
They always beat themselves up.
Yeah. Democracy. Karlak. So we go to Karlak. Osha indeed survived, as we obviously assumed. And in a really cool stationary shot where the camera doesn't move, you see her move through the ship and out to the exit. I think it's just an interesting use of depth in a shot. Anyway, so she goes and checks out what's going on. When she returns into the ship, we hear, I think, the sound of that parasite thing in the ceiling.
Okay, yeah.
It sounds like it. And then she gets a vision of a person. We don't know who it is at the time, but we find out later it's a young version of May. She follows it outside. Turns out it is a vision of her sister. The snowy planet turns into Brendok, which is her home world. And then we hear some whispers, and then this big fire starts to take place, and then the exterior shifts again into this interior. Maybe they're home. It's not clear. And then we get this like poem or situation. Big Boss Garrus asking out of 10. I assume that they're asking what we think of the show out of 10. We don't.
It's hard.
We don't normally score it, but I would say the first 2 episodes, I'd give them like a 7.5.
Yeah, I'd probably give them an 8.
All right, fair enough. There you go. Yeah, I mean, I think I would want to give it an 8. It's basically an 8, but it gets docked a half point for some visual boringness.
Okay, yeah, fair enough. Yeah. I'm not as a big of a stickler on that.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah.
Anyway, so we get this like poem. Who claps harder? Get out of here, Big Boss Garrus. Don't ask those kind of questions in here. It's a family-friendly show. We do swear, but not in that way. Anyway, so we shift into the interior of the building. We get this poem. You are with me, and I am with you. Always one, but born as two. As above sits the stars, as below lies the sea. I give you, you give me, me. Mm-hmm. Obviously, this is like very twin coded, right?
Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
You are with me and I'm with you, right? Okay, sisters, always one, but born as two, right? Mm-hmm. Together, but twins. As above sits the stars and below sits the sea. I'm not really sure where that fits in yet. I give you, you give me, me, but it seems to be this sense of like togetherness,
yeah,
right? A unity between the two of them. She says, "May, is it really you?" This is interesting because it's like, are they having a connection through the Force here?
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know either.
Yeah, it seems like it because it's, when May's doing this stuff too. At the beginning of the episode, it's Osha wakes up and it's like almost like she
right.
saw it, or they were like, they've got that
right.
twin connection, right? So
which twins out there, you let us know. Is that real?
Yeah,
we don't know.
Do you both feel pain at the same time?
Yeah. Anyway, she says, "May, is it really you?" She says, "Yes. I thought you were dead. Did you kill Indara?" Right? Mm-hmm. Like getting right to the point. She says, right. "Yes." And then her eyes go all black, which is never a good sign.
No,
I will kill them all. Right? So it's hard to say what this is. It could be a Force vision. It could be a connection between her and her twin. It could just be that in this what's it called? Parasite attached to her while she was after she crashed.
Right.
Right. And is giving her this vision, right? Doing funny things to your mind.
Yeah.
Right? Either way, it turns out it's all true. So it's kind of like you can interpret it, I guess, however you like.
Yeah.
Anyway, so she wakes up again, this time still inside the crash ship. Back on Coruscant, Saul decides to take Jackie and Yord. Although Yord doesn't get to take his Padawan.
I guess not.
Rough for that Padawan.
Maybe she's too new.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
Jackie seems to have a problem with that. She's just like, well, he's Yord, which I think is like a good line. That's like a fun line reading. You can read a lot into that.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah. I like it too.
Yeah. What do you think she means by that?
I think like not that she thinks he's a joke. I think she's just like
maybe a little full of himself,
like a little full, kind of annoying. Like he's Yord. Like it's just like like we have to take that guy.
Like,
yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. It's like she likes being a team with her master. She's
right.
like, we have to take this doofus
right.
with us. Like, come on. He's just like shirtless too.
And then they walk in on him with his shirt on, and then she's like,
awkward.
Put your clothes on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a very cute
like it's funny because
interaction.
he's a knight already and she's a Padawan, but she's still giving him a hard time.
I love it
because I guess they're like closer in age.
I love a sassy Padawan. Though.
Yeah,
like it's Ahsoka vibes, right?
Yes,
like,
100%.
Yeah.
Anyway, Yord apologizes for losing her. Says like, I should have taken it in myself. My bad. I will redeem myself.
Mm-hmm.
Right. They leave on a cool Jedi ship with this like front claw section that's like the lander. It's really cool ship design.
Yeah.
Everything's a little bit more like 60s sci-fi in my opinion. Maybe 50s sci-fi style. A little bit more rounded edges. Not quite in the chrome shiny way that prequels are, but just kind of like, I wouldn't be surprised if we saw a flying saucer or something.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So on the Jedi ship, Saul and Jackie have a quiet moment to discuss Osha. And for me, what is awesome about these shows is that which you don't really have the opportunity to do in the movies, right? We get, like, as I mentioned, Yoda and Luke in episode 8 in that really great moment, or Obi-Wan and Luke in Empire or whatever.
Right.
And then you have these kind of like master apprentice conversations, but they're often so, I mean, this is plot heavy too, but there's the opportunity to spend a little bit of like quiet time between a master and apprentice is just something that you just don't have a lot of time to do in a movie. You get more time to do in a show, and it's I value it.
Yeah,
here.
yeah.
So, she says permission to speak freely, which is like the second time we hear that, and he's like, enough of that. Stop asking me that.
Yeah.
Anyway, we learned that he was posted on Osha's homeworld of Bendok 16 years ago, that he believes that May started the fire and killed her family. That's his impression of what happened that day.
Right.
Right. He reveals that she's a twin. This is not in her file. This is shocking to both what's his name, Yord, and to Jecki. He's very convinced at this point that May is not alive.
Right.
Right. He says, I saw her die. And that's twice we hear from two different characters say that they saw her die.
Right. Yeah.
Which is fascinating. I just like, what does that mean?
Yeah.
How do you see someone die and then not like,
and then
we'll have
not,
to see it. I think we'll have to see it.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Anyway, I just think it's interesting, kind of like this master being like revealing about a former Padawan. Again, similar to Yoda talking about Dooku and stuff like that, but it's just more in depth.
Yeah.
They arrive as Sol thinks deeply. We get this like long lingering shot of his face as he thinks about the whole situation. And then we see that the ship has like this like detachable landing section, which is really cool. Not as cool as the hyperspace rings for the Jedi fighters in the prequels, but almost as cool. So on Karlak, Yord doesn't believe he survived, doesn't believe that Osha survived, despite signs of someone being there. Scavengers Padawan.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Sol has he has a feeling, though, and follows Osha into a cave nearby. Yord, always kind of the precocious one, lights up his lightsaber. We find out it's yellow. Love a yellow lightsaber.
I said the same thing when I saw this. It's
Love
like,
a yellow lightsaber.
They're so good looking.
They just have a good. It looks right.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
There's some questions about like what the different lightsaber colors necessarily mean. I don't know what is and what isn't canon anymore on that. But I don't know anymore. Well, if maybe the show will get into it in more depth, we'll see.
Yeah.
And if not, we'll talk about it more and have a chance to do some reading. Anyway, Osha reaches a dead end facing a cliff's edge. I love how they're like the cop type of language.
Yeah.
Stop in the name of the Republic and the Jedi Order, right? You're under arrest. Saul appears though, she's really grateful to see him, pleading that she didn't do it, asking him to trust her. Believe me, I didn't do it. It wasn't me. But she slips, falls backward. Saul saves her with the Force. Really cool move there. Pulls her back in. We get this really warm smile. She says that May's alive, and which is funny. I just think that the timing is funny because he's like, no, she's definitely dead. And then like, the next scene, she's like, he's alive. And he's like, I believe you.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like, okay, right, fair enough.
Yeah.
But like, having someone trust you like that, it's like, okay,
of
I
course,
believe you.
Yeah.
Would be really satisfying for her at that moment.
And it's nice to kind of like move that storyline along so we don't have to go do this back and forth, like arrest her, blah, blah, blah. Like, it wasn't me. It's just like, I just believe you. Okay, cool.
Yes,
like,
exactly.
Yeah, we don't have to waste time.
Because we already know she's alive.
Yeah,
and so we don't have time to deal with this like, well, is she, isn't she? No. Yeah. She's alive.
Yeah.
Okay. So, then we cut to, anyway, Jecki has binders. They don't use them. She's like, to stand down. Yeah. You know, put your lightsaber away.
Yeah.
We cut to an unknown planet. May walks on a rocky beach as we hear someone speaking. Seem a man of some kind. We don't know. He says this: the Jedi live in a dream they believe everyone shares. If you attack a Jedi with a weapon, you will fail. Steel or laser are no threat to them. But an acolyte kills without a weapon. An acolyte kills the dream. And then they ignite their lightsaber, which is always funny when they do that for no reason.
Yeah, for no reason. Yeah.
But it's because it's a show. So light their lightsaber. We see this hooded figure. I like how we see it first in reflection, right? You know, the Sith being a dark reflection of the Jedi, obviously, right?
Right.
And it's a kind of a cool visual flair there. He draws his lightsaber, lights it up. It's red, right? Ooh, the Sith. Cut to credits. We get some tense strings here in the credits.
Ooh, the Sith.
Right. Right. And so
Now, do you think it's a Sith? Or do you
yes,
think
I do.
They're a Knight of Ren?
No, I don't think the Knights of Ren. I don't think that if it would be, listen, if they do Knights of Ren, wild. But no.
They're around.
But if you think
They're
about
old.
right, if you think about the Knights of Ren that like those vanity shots we see them in episode 9.
Well, not like that.
But they don't even have
like,
lightsabers.
Brr.
They just have
No.
they have like other weapons. The only one that had a lightsaber was
It's the
Ben
main one.
because he was already a Sith. What?
Oh, I thought the main one always I thought the guy who is Ren always has a lightsaber, but I could be wrong.
Well, maybe at that time.
I don't know
maybe.
enough about the Knights of Ren, but I'm almost positive Adam was telling me that they are kind of around at this point. And
Maybe they are. I'm not
and dark side.
I'm not saying that they're not.
I just because he sounded like like he's got like
Well, he's got the mask on.
Yeah,
but
Right.
and we see from the trailer that there's that guy with like the shark mask on, right, with the teeth.
Yeah,
and
right.
it's probably him and all that stuff, and we don't know who it is. That being said, this like the way that they talk about the Jedi, what we hear in episode 2 about like the peace is a lie, all this stuff being drawn from this idea of the Sith code, which, if you're not familiar with it, is as follows: peace is a lie. There is only passion. Through passion, I gain strength. Through strength, I gain power. Through power, I gain victory. Through victory, my chains are broken. The Force shall free me. So, obviously the Jedi aren't mentioned here, but this idea of, the Jedi live in a dream of peace, right? That a dream that they think we all share, that peace is the path to freedom, right? And the Jedi's perspective is no, that the path to freedom is through power and through strength and through showing strength, which is in direct kind of opposition to the concept of peace. So my gut tells me that the Acolytes are similar to, you could call the Inquisitors Acolytes. Acolytes.
Yeah. I 100% I think
right. So to me, it's the rule of 2 is there's only ever 2, yada yada yada. We know that that's not true because stuff that the Emperor's doing, he's constantly got irons in the fire. Yeah. Right?
Yeah.
And so just by the nature of this struggle for power, there's always going to be this idea of like, okay, who's the next one I can use? That kind of thing. Yeah. Right? So, training acolytes in your teachings to do your bidding, essentially, position things. Do I think this is Darth Plagueis? Nah, I don't know. I don't think so. But it could be Plagueis's
kind of cool,
earlier apprentice or something like that.
Yeah.
And if it is Darth Plagueis, I think that's also cool.
Yeah, that is cool.
None of those things bother me.
No.
I just don't think it's not a Sith because if it's like some weird, like it's not a Sith because of some
technicality,
technicality or like a semantic distinction, I don't think that's satisfying.
Right. Yeah.
So, that's, I don't know. That's just my opinion on it.
No, fair enough.
So that's the end of the first episode. We're going to breeze through the second one. So we're going to jump into season 1, episode 2, Revenge, Justice. So obviously, again, the first episode being Lost, Found, right? Yeah. Probably relating to May, right? Assuming Lost and then Found again. This time, Revenge, Justice. May out for revenge, the Jedi looking for justice, right? I don't know. I'm sure we can go deeper than that. This one's 37 minutes. I am largely satisfied with the episode lengths. If we're around the 40-minute length, I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
I think anything shorter feels like a disservice, to be honest. In a live action show, especially.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't really want to see any like 28-minute episodes or
right.
Yeah,
it would feel so weird. I feel like. Anyway, so and we've seen that obviously with like Ahsoka and others, and or not so much.
No,
God, that show's so good. We're so spoiled with that show. It's unbelievable. Can't wait for season 2. All right, so 37 minutes. The log line is loading as we speak, but it also is directed by Leslie Headland, written by Jason McAuliffe and Leslie Headland and Charmaine DeGrate. An assassin strikes again, but this time the Jedi are there to attempt capture. Interesting that they just call her assassin. We already know who she is by the end of the episode. Anyway,
maybe because it was a double drop.
Yeah, fair enough. And they like to be extremely vague in those.
Yeah.
Okay, so we start on Olega. By the way, we should mention, I didn't really mention this. we're getting a lot of like location names on the screen. Not something we see a lot in Star Wars.
Yeah,
Rogue
that's
One
true.
did
Actually,
that a little bit, but
Yeah.
most of the time we'd never know.
No, yeah,
where
it's
these
just kind of like
planets
you're hoping maybe somebody says something.
Yeah. Right, or like maybe the Star Wars data bank will have it.
They'll just tell you, in the
exactly.
log lines or something. Yeah, not log lines, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Show notes.
So, yeah, we go to Alega. These, and also the other thing is going to a lot of new places.
Yeah, I love that.
Into that, yeah.
Yeah, we like, especially at this time frame too.
Right.
Like, yeah, like there's probably systems that like aren't established even that we see later on.
So, the local Jedi. I thought what was interesting here was that they had to not just to say which planet we're on, but had to distinguish that we were at the local Jedi temple.
Yeah,
which does feel a little bit like a storytelling shortcut. You know, doesn't it's
right.
That is literally telling, not showing. It's like if you had maybe created a more visually interesting Jedi temple, we could have inferred that ourselves. Otherwise, this just looks like an office building.
Yeah, right. And I do find it interesting, like, as I feel like we haven't seen a lot of Jedi temples on like other planets. Like we always see the Jedi temple,
or we see like old ones, like
ancient ones that they're like finding like on Lothal and stuff, and it's like they're hidden and they're
this
not.
Is just like someone bought like an office space.
Yeah.
It's like how Scientology has a church, but it's just like a strip mall.
Right. Yeah. There's like in weird parts of the city. Yeah.
Exactly. So and maybe that's just like a reality of like, this is just the local precinct.
Yeah. Right? Yeah. It's kind of cool though.
And like this show does treat the Jedi as kind of like space cops.
Oh,
which is a fascinating way of going about it. I'm not mad about it. I think it's kind of cool, actually.
Yeah.
If those familiar with Green Lantern from the DC comics, their whole deal is space cops.
Oh,
so there's kind of a fun idea of being like, oh yeah, I know this planet and I know the people here and they respect my authority and all that kind of stuff. And so, well, anyway, we'll see a little bit of that here.
Right.
So we see a child throw a rock at one of those droid doorbells. But I couldn't really. They call it a security droid later, but I like to call it it's like a fancy Ring doorbell. And once again, paid by May. She loves to pay a street urchin to do her dirty work. She uses some type of puck to stun the droid and gain entrance to the temple, and just like walks in freely,
right?
And then blends in with the people in the temple because everyone's wearing robes.
In
there, right? Anyway, so she comes to a room with a Jedi meditating. This is really cool. I don't remember how often we see Jedi floating in the air while they're meditating, but in my opinion, not enough because this is pretty cool.
I was like, don't we see it? Like, doesn't Rey do it? And doesn't Luke
Rey does it
in
100%. But my just opinion is not enough.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah. And so sitting cross-legged in the middle of the room, we learn that this is Master Torben, who's got a unfortunately receding hairline and
that's what you noticed.
And a scar across his face and his eye.
Yeah.
Is that would you notice that probably first and not the receding hairline?
Yeah, I noticed the scar first.
Okay. Yeah, fair enough. Anyway, you noticed the woman's hair, I noticed the dude's hair.
Yeah, there you go. Fair enough.
Yeah. Anyway, she says that we have unfinished business, right? So I think we're kind of piecing together things here, right? The assumption is, well, we learn later, she's after 4 Jedi, all the 4 Jedi that were stationed on her homeworld when shit went down.
Right.
And, but to say that we have unfinished business implies that there was something else. And then again, what Torben says about, we thought we were doing the right thing, implies that even more. So, just, big question mark here. I don't know what that means. Where's my gut? Tell me what's my theory on this is that they were doing something that was not sanctioned by the Jedi Council.
Yeah, most likely.
They were exploring maybe some dark side things, perhaps, that got out of hand. When you explore the dark side stuff, right, it can consume you, right, as as Yoda likes to say, right, and forever it will dominate your life. I think, which is also not true. He's a little dogmatic in that.
Yeah.
Way. So. I don't know. We just don't know yet, but I just think it's this idea that they got into trouble and that trouble caused someone severe pain. May's whole family died. Right. Except for her sister, which, do you think that they like come to terms with each other at the end of how do you think this gets resolved?
I don't know. I guess we'll see. Like, it's like it's hard to know because we don't know anything about their storyline really yet. So I would assume that Osha is going to try to like save May at some point, like, or vice versa, right? Like there's going to be some sort of like pull between the two of them where they don't want to be against each other, right? Because it's not natural for them.
Well, she kind of softens a little bit when she sees her too for the first time, right? Anyway, so she reaches Master Torben. She says she has unfinished business, and then she threatens him with the same whooshy "attack me with all of your strength" line, right? Which seems, all the lessons they learned about the Jedi. One of them would be that they're not just going to attack someone with all their strength just because someone says so.
Just because you ask them to,
right?
Yeah.
So it just seems like it's interesting anyway. It feels a little childish from May's perspective.
Yeah. Like you're trying to like goad them when you know they're not gonna attack.
But also sounds like something that she was told to say.
Probably. Yeah.
So it's, I don't know. So I just would like to learn more about that.
It's like she's challenging them, right? Like just Yeah. But
anyway, she threatens them and Master Torben, but when she attacks him, she's unable to penetrate some sort of like force field, if I may.
Yeah, like force field. Yeah,
right,
force
barrier.
Yeah.
And so he doesn't even flinch. Like he's like, his face is completely unaffected.
Yeah, it's like he doesn't even hear her. Yeah.
Right, like she's not even there. Right, really cool force ability.
Yeah,
right. This is not something we've really seen before. No. How do you feel about it?
Yeah, it's really cool.
It feels like it's in line with what you'd expect. This type of, a Jedi in this type of meditation hasn't spoken to anyone for 10 years.
Yeah.
Right? The ability to control the force in a way that literally nobody can touch them. I can buy that. Yeah, right.
Like they're so deep in this like meditation that it creates like a barrier around them is really
right. Like
neat.
We've seen Kylo Ren stop a blaster shot, right? So this would just be kind of that same idea, but for everything around him. Yeah. Mm-hmm. It's a cool idea. So an alarm is raised. Her presence is made known. So she, as a Jedi enters the room, she escapes through a skylight. Very ninja-like. Mm-hmm. Cut to title card. How do we feel about the title card here? By like this, like the O of Acolyte kind of like being
splitting?
Splitting.
Yeah.
And then, like, what do you think?
I feel like that's like the twin thing, right? Like, and I was says. No. That wasn't there the first time, was it?
No, we didn't get the first episode.
Okay, so like I wasn't crazy being like, I feel like it didn't look like that before, or like did I miss that?
Like the logo for the Acolyte did evolve a little bit over time.
Oh, okay.
And the O eventually turned sideways, and then that split became part of like the poster and some of those other things.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah. So, but no, it's very cool. Yeah, just I like a little.
And just like we don't need a big long intro, just one little title card and we're off and running.
Yeah.
Right. Just like the Bad Batch. Right?
Yeah. Yeah, just simple.
Yeah. So back to Karlak. Osha is resting on the Jedi ship as Jecki works through some controls. This is like a brief kind of like Osha-Jecki relationship moment. Osha suggests repolarizing the power couplings, which seems to do the trick. She was just struggling with the controls there for a bit. Anyway, they talk a little bit of how she was a mechanic, how dangerous that was. Jackie assumes that only our 2 droids did that or work on a ship, which we talked about earlier. This is where I feel like Osha has a much more like classic Star Wars vibe about her, where she's like, I'm a much better company than a droid,
right?
And more flexible. And then Pip chips in with like, Pip also wants to say that he's quite flexible too.
Yeah, it's so cute.
It's cute.
Yeah.
And it's true because he's a multi-tool. He's very flexible.
Very, yeah.
Yord is concerned that Osha isn't restrained, still believing that she killed Endara and that she escaped. I like that it's like she killed someone and has already escaped. It's like, I thought we already proved that she didn't escape, that the others escaped. She's still on the
exactly.
Ship. She's still on the ship.
Crashed.
That crashed, yeah. Anyway, Saul doesn't think so, and he kind of questions his reasoning. Like, you really want to? Let's think about that a little bit. Right?
Yeah.
Doesn't think that May is alive. Yord's like, well, I don't think she's alive, but if she was, she wouldn't have the training to defeat a Jedi Master. Right. And then, reminding him that Osha hasn't trained in 6 years, so she also wouldn't have the ability to take on a Jedi Master.
Right.
Assuming the twin theory is true, they could be working together, Yord says. There's no reason to believe that. Just because they look the same?
Yeah. They look the same, and she didn't know that her twin was alive until now, but they're totally working together, Yord.
Yeah, it's like, come on, Yord.
Man. I get it, why.
He's a bit of a himbo, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess. So I get why Jackie's like,
we want to bring him, like, because like he has bad ideas and he's like jumps to action way too fast.
Yeah,
right? There's a little bit, he'll come around. He'll have a moment.
Yeah,
yeah, and like he's fair when he's given the opportunity, presented with the information. He's fair. You know, later when he's like, she didn't do it. I was watching the whole time.
Right.
This is we get another kind of like master apprentice moment here. Don't let fear affect your judgment, right? You know, obviously the use of the word fear is highly loaded in the Star Wars world,
right?
But I think appropriate here. We get another. What's the other great fear line we had recently? I think it was in the Bad Batch. Anyway.
Saul, isn't it about when she's talking about Wrecker and like something about soldiers and fears and I don't know.
I don't remember.
Some of the greatest soldiers I know are afraid of things. I don't know, something like that.
That does sound true.
It's along those lines.
Yeah, she was talking to those kids about talking about Wrecker and how he's afraid of heights. Yeah.
Yeah.
Saul has a holo meeting with Venestra Rowe. Classic Jedi stuff. Always talking to the Coruscant with a holo meeting.
Yeah.
Telling her that he believes that May is alive. Venestra is inclined to agree, as she says, that considering a suspect matching Osha's description broke into a Jedi temple just now.
And she's with you. So.
And she's with you. So it seems like you've got a pretty solid alibi.
Yeah.
We'll buy it, right? So Saul wants to investigate, and Venestra suggests taking Osha with them, gives them the green light. Yep, go ahead. She could be an asset. This is a surprise to Yord, but as Saul mentions, the Jedi agree with me.
Yeah.
So, I like the using of like the Jedi and the kind of this like broad, like the royal we kind of use of the of that.
Yeah.
We don't.
It's like all the Jedi. It's like if one person on the council agrees with you. Yeah.
So that's fun. And then they mentioned Torben, so there's a connection there. Oh, Torben's on that planet. Okay.
Yeah.
So we get to Olega. May walks through a market and stops into an apothecary, a shop. We find out later it's an apothecary. Apothecary, great word, one of my favorite words ever.
Apothecary is a good word.
Anyway, so to meet with a character called Chimere, I think is his name. Played by where is his name here? Chimere. Manny Jacinto, who plays Jason from The Good Place. Very different role here. Some similarities, but love The Good Place. If you don't watch the show,
I've never seen
so
it. I think I watched the first
so
episode, but yeah.
He plays also like a himbo character on that show where he's from Jacksonville, and they always talk about how he loves the Jaguars so much. And it's like, and he's like, oh yeah, Jacksonville, the best swamp city in the U.S. and like that kind of stuff. It's good. Anyway, fun seeing him here in a more complex role.
Yeah.
Anyway, he's sleeping. He says he was waiting up all night for her. She gives him a hard time about how he's like dressed weird and that, which he apparently stole from the owner of the shop. Are we led to believe that guy is dead?
I would assume probably.
He's probably dead.
Probably
right?
dead.
If you have his clothes and you're running the store, probably not a good sign for your health.
Yeah, you seem like a bad guy if you're wearing the clothes of the guy's store that you're all of a sudden running.
I have a hard time clocking Chimere though, because is he like, so he imparts all this like wisdom later about like everyone has a weakness and all this stuff, but then he also acts as like a little bit aloof, bit of a jokester a little bit.
Yeah.
But then when confronted by the Jedi, he's like, oh, he kind of puts on this like guise of like not being involved.
Yeah. Like he definitely, when talking to the Jedi, for sure, I feel like he's putting on an act.
Yeah.
Adam thinks that he's like the Sith Lord. Like,
oh really?
Yeah.
He's just like there the whole time.
Yeah. Like he thinks because they make that comment about how like she doesn't even know
right
who her master is. Right. So like, that's why Adam's like, oh, I think it's that guy. And I'm like, I don't know. We'll see.
I mean, if you follow like classic TV mystery laws or rules from it, like it does potentially make sense. We're just I think it's a little too early.
I think so too.
If you're going to be introduced to a character that's like, under our nose the whole time, I'm not necessarily convinced that the first new character we meet in episode 2 is that person.
Yeah.
Could be. Not saying it's not, but I feel like there's still potential that there's other new characters yet to be introduced that could fill that role.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So I also like he does a little bit of light drug usage. Death sticks. Great this
and
time.
It seems like he was just like drinking a bunch of the stuff that was in the apothecary too.
Right, exactly.
You're just like,
well, I have to do something.
Yeah, you're like, dude.
Anyway, she complains about not being able to land a hit on the Jedi Master. He suggests finding the weakness, right? She wants a weapon, asks for a poison. He chastises her about not being able to deal with a sleeping monk, quote unquote, and reminds her that she still needs to face a Wookiee. So if you can't face a sleeping monk, how are you going to take down a Wookiee Jedi?
Yeah, with no weapon.
Yeah, with no weapon, right? So we learn that she still has 2 Jedi left to kill. This is when we start kind of piecing more things together. I feel like we get a really clear understanding of what's going on by the end of this episode, but we didn't. A lot of this stuff was assumed. Like we assumed, for instance, that Sol was one of those 4 Jedi, but we don't learn that until later.
Yeah,
right. For sure. Anyway, so she still has 2 Jedi to kill. Torben being one. Obviously the space Trinity from episode 1 being the other, and then this Wookiee being the third one that we hadn't met until the end of this episode, right? She says, "I will kill one of them without a weapon and please the master."
Right.
So is it implied that she has to kill them all, or just one of them without a weapon?
I think just one. Yeah, like you have to kill a Jedi without a weapon.
Okay,
but
so you're allowed to use the knives, but it doesn't count. If you
okay. I guess it's like she's on this quest to kill them anyway, right? So
revenge,
I don't know.
As we find out from the beginning. Right?
So
okay, and then this is like maybe this is like where you get the hints of this kind of like maybe he's the Jedi Master, he's like, or the Sith Master, right? Don't you think what we do is a little bit stressful? He says, which I think is such a funny line. And then he goes on this diatribe about believing, that I really do believe that everyone has a weakness, and then they get, this whole like I wanted to have a drink thing turns into this like honest telling of wisdom. Right.
Yeah.
Anyway, he says the Jedi justified their galactic dominance in the name of peace.
Right.
And peace is a lie, right? And so peace is a lie, obviously,
is,
again, right, first line of
the Sith code,
right? And then doesn't believe that Torben is actually a serene meditator. So I think this is actually a really great analogy to some of the divides in our current society.
Right.
Where there seems to be this belief that like, oh, you say this stuff about wanting peace and justice for everyone, but you don't really believe that.
Right.
But the only reason that they say that is because to believe that they honestly believe that makes them feel like the bad guy.
Yes, yeah.
So to reframe someone's position, right? In the end of the last episode, the whole thing about they live in a dream that they think everyone shares.
Yes,
right?
Yeah.
And so this idea that they only think they found peace, but they've just tricking themselves. They're lying to themselves, or they're lying to us blatantly. Right?
Like they don't actually believe that.
They don't actually believe that.
Yeah.
True human nature is violence and all this stuff. It's like, that's your worldview. And so are you not just imposing that same concept of we're all living in the same world that you feel like is the reflection of your reality? Right. And maybe you're the one who's living in a dream, maybe possibly. Right. So I just think that that's a really interesting kind of like dichotomy. So it's cool. So he says doesn't believe that he's a serene meditator, that he only thinks he's found peace. What he needs is something that only you can give him, absolution.
Right.
So again, they both have more information than the audience does here. We don't know why someone would be seeking absolution. What did he do to cause this? Why did he get that scar on his face? Why would someone willingly take poison?
Yeah. Right? Like what level of guilt is he holding? And like, is that why he's taken this vow? Whatever,
right? Like a vow of silence. There's a name for it, but we find it's just a vow of silence, really.
Yeah, and like he's meditating on in this kind of bubble, not wanting to talk to anybody. It's like he's completely withdrawn, kind of thing, right? So, but yeah, and it is interesting to me, like why this random apothecary dude, not that he's a random apothecary dude, but like who is he to May,
right?
And like why is he her like a little accomplice?
Like are they both acolytes? That's kind of the sense. Like they're like kind of on the same team.
Yeah.
But he's a little further along maybe and helping her out.
Yeah.
I don't know.
But it's just like it doesn't seem like maybe he's not. I don't know if he's not force sensitive or not. Like it's like what's his deal? Like why is he just?
Yeah, we don't know.
Chilling.
But
and like knows all this stuff too.
Yeah, exactly,
so like, why does he know everything?
Exactly.
Who is he? Yeah.
I don't know. So that's part of the mystery. But
yeah,
but these hints that they're leaving here, I think, are compelling.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, so he finishes the poison. She threatens Tim with like, "Hey, this would be bad for all of us." Wink, wink. If
Mhm.
anyone ever found out about you giving me this poison,
right?
Which is like classic bad guy stuff.
Oh yeah,
right. Anyway, back on the Jedi ship, Osha is trying to sync Pip with the ship. This is not something we've never really seen before. It's a cool concept. Makes sense that you need to sync a droid with the ship so they could, interface with it and all that kind of stuff. So it's a cool idea.
Yeah.
It also, I think she's also tapping into their comms. Which
Probably,
we find out later.
Yeah.
Right. And then Saul notices a tattoo on her arm, which I don't know if we find out that she would happen on like this crazy night with her crew and all this stuff. I don't know if it has any significance or not.
Right. Yeah.
But and she's like, yeah, you don't like it.
Yeah, you hate it.
Right, you hate it. And he's like, it doesn't matter what I like.
Yeah. Which is so funny in Star Wars, like the idea of not liking someone's tattoos because there's so many different like species that look different and like have markings on them. Like it's so funny to be like, no, that tattoo is weird.
But like she knows, like he knew her from when she was
didn't,
young.
Yeah,
didn't have those
them,
things.
Yeah.
This is to him, it's like a sign of her having matured.
Yeah.
Without his guidance.
Yes. Yeah.
Right.
It gives me those kind of like parent kid vibes where you're like, you're like, I have tattoos and I know that like my parents probably don't like a lot of them, and it's just like, but yeah, they're like, doesn't matter what I like. It's your body,
right? But I think it's interesting here is that like they have this former master apprentice relationship.
Yeah.
But then they clash around things where the rules of the master Jedi relationship would have made their life more clear and easy.
Right.
But then when those rules are stripped away, what you have instead is this like more human conflict. Between like mentor and mentee.
Yeah.
And I think that it's more human. It's interesting.
Yes. Yeah.
Anyway, they get down to business. Yes, if he believes that May is behind Indar's murder. She says she feels like that is the case. She's confused how she survived.
Right.
She also saying that she saw her die. Right. So we get now, as I said, two people saying that.
Mm-hmm.
Saul admits that he wanted to save them both, and Asha doesn't blame him. Right. It's like, listen, you might hold yourself responsible, but it's not your responsibility to feel that way. And that she's been trying to tell him that for a long time.
Yeah.
He says he's made peace with what happened. Osha knows because it was a lesson he tried to teach her.
Right.
To accept what I have lost. And then there's this very nice moment where she says, like, I wasn't a very good student. I didn't learn that. And he's like, well, perhaps I wasn't a very good teacher.
Yeah. Which I feel like is always like the master always feels like they've failed an apprentice. Like if an apprentice,
if they made a mistake, it's my fault.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. It just means that everyone feels guilty in that scenario. Yeah. Anyway, they approach Alega and land in the town. Once they get to Alega, the Jedi crew of all of them arrive at the temple where the local Jedi are surprised. This is kind of like a Law and Order style. Like, I didn't realize downtown would be interested in our little case.
Right.
Or whatever.
Yeah.
Anyway, meanwhile, I like this. Like this, it's implied that this is happening at the same time, but it also seems like later it's implied that it's not. So it's unclear. But that meanwhile, May sneaks back in to Master Torben through the skylight again. And she says, "Do you remember me? I know why you took the Barish vow," which I guess again we have to assume is the vow of silence. We don't know what that means.
Mm-hmm.
You thought this life would give you peace, the peace you seek, but your past still haunts you. Again, we don't know what he did that would have caused his past to haunt him. Back at the gate, we learn that May paid the street urchin, which we already knew, to activate the security door, the doorbell. Saul wants to speak to Torben, who apparently hasn't spoken to anyone in 10 years. So 10-year vow of silence. Saul believes, though, that he'll talk to him because he's an old friend. Classic. He'll talk to me.
Yeah.
I'm an old friend.
Yeah.
But back with May, she says, confess your crime to the Jedi Council and receive the forgiveness you seek, or do it right here, right now with me.
Right.
So she doesn't really want him to go to the Jedi Council.
No, of course not.
But it's an interesting idea to be like, to pose that distinction, which is that you have had 10 years or 16 years to
fess up.
You haven't. So I'm going to assume you don't want to do that.
Right.
So instead, let's just deal with it right now.
Yeah.
Right.
Here's some poison.
Yeah.
Right.
This wakes him up. This is compelling, right? She's like, ooh, he's like, okay. Wakes up, floats back down to the ground. At this moment, the Jedi crew are approaching the room. Again, it's unclear if this is happening at the same time. It's funner if it is, but it's not necessarily.
I felt like it kind of was supposed to be, but yeah.
But I guess like the way that they say it later is, oh, this guy was already dead when we arrived.
Oh,
right.
I see,
and it's
I
like,
see,
okay,
I see.
well, then that's possible that.
Yeah.
But again, it's more dramatic tension to assume that it is happening at the same time. She says, face your past, Master Torben, right? He floats back down. He says, I've been waiting for you, May. So he knows who she is.
Yeah.
He's been waiting for her. Why? How? There's just so many questions. We don't have the answers here yet. I assume we'll get them, but it's interesting. Again, introducing this type of mystery, I think, is a good driver for the show.
Yeah, definitely.
He says, forgive me. We thought we were doing the right thing.
Mm-hmm.
Osha gets a vision and follows a small girl, another young May, essentially, down a side corridor. Yord spots her and follows her. Torben takes the poison willingly. Mm-hmm. Osha is the one to find her body, find his body, and the vial of poison next to it. She seems to recognize the smell, which is funny. She's like, she's doing a little bit of like detective work.
Yeah, I think it's like from their home planet or something, right?
Yeah, we find out that that's true. And she like notices the open skylight. She's like piecing it together. She's doing her like detective work, right? And that's fun. Anyway, and then she like closes his eyes again, maybe having had some sort of relationship with him in her previous Jedi training.
Right.
Anyway, the local Jedi there pulls his blue lightsaber, accuses her of, step away from the body. You're under arrest. Anyway, classic preemptive jumping to conclusions. Anyway, Osha says she can explain, and Yord backs her up, saying he watched it all happen. She didn't do it. They note that there's no sign of struggle. I think this is a bit of a convenience because we see this happen, so they kind of don't. I don't know. I don't know what they could have done differently here. They could have jumped to a different conclusion, but Saul says he seems to have taken it willingly. But it's like, how could you possibly know that?
Yeah, I mean, I guess that's true. But it's like, how do you force someone to drink a poison?
Well, if you're asleep or whatever, maybe it wouldn't be that hard to do it.
It's true.
But anyway, I just think it's like, well, we saw it happen, so I guess it's easier if they just know.
Yeah.
I don't know. Osha reveals that the poison is Bunta, not to be confused with Bunta Eve, which is, of course, a festival on Tatooine.
On Tatooine, yes.
Right. Well, I guess Bunta is the festival and Bunta Eve is the night before.
Right, yes.
I always loved that, the name of it. Always was like Bunta Eve. It's fun. It's fun.
Yeah.
Everyone's blowing off fireworks. It's great. Anyway, it's a poison from her home planet. So we cut to, I thought this was a weird cut, to be honest. It cuts to a voiceover, and then we find out that the Jedi are just like hanging out on a balcony.
Right.
But that happens to overlook the apothecary.
Oh,
this is kind of where it's like,
they're like a stakeout.
Yeah, it's like a little bit of better sense of place would go a long way.
Yeah, they just kind of like jumped there, that they just found the apothecary that it probably came from.
Which is across the street from the Jedi temple.
Yeah.
Right. So we cut to the Jedi on the balcony. A voiceover from Osha reveals that Bunta is used in hunting, but it doesn't work well if it's distilled. It has to have come from nearby. They notice that the guy at the apothecary is not the regular guy, right? Okay, well, that's a big flag. Saul is looking for suggestions. So Yord jumps in, classic Yord move here, believes that they should secure the perimeter, have Jackie on lookout, and then he'll confront the imposter, stun him with this like clunky stun gun, and then take him in for questioning.
Yeah.
Jackie, though, has a better, more practical idea. She says, well, why don't we just have Osha go in and talk to him?
Yeah.
Because you have a twin.
Because they look the same.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then it's like, well,
Get
record the conversation and use it to get a lead on May. And if we're lucky, also get a confession. And she says it's the most logical path. Very Vulcan of her, I guess. And Saul is like, yeah, I think that's a good plan. We'll go with your plan. Which gives Yord is like not happy with that. He's like, yeah, like, all right, fine.
Yeah. He wants to do the cop thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Kicking down doors.
Exactly. He does bust in with his lightsaber on later.
Yeah.
When Saul asks for the stun weapon from Yord, he points out that giving a civilian a weapon violates 13 precepts of the I don't know, Jedi code or something.
Yeah.
But again, Saul is fine with it, reminding him that Osha used to be one of them, so she's used to it.
Right.
The stun gun, though, by the way, my assumption here is that they hadn't yet figured out how to add the stun setting into blasters yet. So you have to have its own special version.
Own thing, yeah.
And when we see it used, way more violent, it looks like.
Yeah.
Way bigger circle, and like the blue circle's way bigger, and like leaves a way bigger like impact on the on things around it.
Yeah.
I think it's a cool idea.
No, I like that. It's like seeing a earlier version of something, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's
Which is what the fun out of we got of the prequels, but this is just like, what about if we saw stuff from the prequels that was even sooner?
Yeah.
So yeah, call me a mark. I don't know, whatever.
Yeah.
So Kamir, okay, I skipped over something here. Okay, so the plan is going into action. She buys a cloak, Osha does, and wears Pip as not a Pip, but Pip the droid, as a recorder/transmitter, and enters the apothecary. Kamir is surprised / confused to see her, and is even more confused about what she's wearing, which is funny. And she says, "You're back so early. Did the poison work?" Which right away is a confession.
Yeah.
Right. And so they're like, pull her out, like 10 seconds in.
Yeah.
And like, no, wait, let's let it a little bit longer. Right. But they got the confession, so that's good. You're acting so strange. Wait, you must have killed Torvald without the poison. He will be so pleased. So kind of like piecing things together on his own, jumping to conclusions. This hint of he will be so proud is a massive clue for Saul and the rest of them. Anyway, this is when the Jedi jump into action. Kamir, seems to start figuring it out before the Jedi get there. She's like, "Oh, you look exactly like her."
Yeah, like how close he gets to her.
Right.
Yeah, and he's like, "Oh, yeah."
But like, how? I guess the question is, obviously, you knew that May had a twin.
Yes.
Maybe didn't believe that she was alive,
Mm-hmm.
but maybe had a hunch. But do you think he knew right away and was just playing along?
I think he knew like relatively quickly, not right away though. Like, I think when she first walked in, he was kind of just like, "Oh, you look weird." But then it was like when she wasn't like talking and when she wasn't like answering him the right way, he was just like, "Oh no, you're not her.
You're not her, right?" And then he figures it out, right?
Mm-hmm.
But like, get another hint that maybe he is more than he puts on, because he gets very sinister there.
Yeah, he does.
Right, and
that's
like,
what I mean. I was like, there's something more to him.
Exactly like her. He gets right up in her face. He doesn't know that the Jedi are on the way yet, right? But she pulls the stun blaster on him and tries to run. Yord comes in with his lightsaber all lit up. And then he tries to run again, but Jackie's in his way, informs him that that they have the confession.
Yeah.
He tries to deny everything, classic criminal move. And then Saul offers to let him off with a warning if he cooperates, which
a warning
seems silly to me.
For killing a Jedi with
kill the
poison?
Jedi with poison, but you get off with a warning?
Yeah.
No, Saul, come on.
Yeah.
The Jedi Council will not be very happy with you.
No, absolutely not. It's like, it's okay. He only made the poison that killed the Jedi.
Right,
didn't give it to him.
He's just a key cog in the machine of Jedi murder. But no, but a warning. We just need a little. He doesn't even reveal that much information.
Yeah.
All he reveals is that she's after 4 Jedi. She's after 4 Jedi.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. That's it. That's all. Come on, arrest him.
Yeah. He obviously knows stuff too. It's like, he knows more.
Maybe they wanted to leave him out because A, they wanted to use him as a trap for later, and also B, he might lead them to someone.
Right. Yeah, they're just kind of like using him. They're probably still going to take him.
Yeah, if they have the chance.
If they can, yeah.
Yeah, unless he's a Sith Lord, in which case he'll murder them all.
Yeah.
True.
True.
Anyway, he gets all worried about like, don't do the memory wipe thing or whatever it is you guys do. Again, implying that he doesn't know what the Jedi do, but we know that he does. He talks about the Jedi earlier.
And that's what I mean. I think like that's acting. Like when he's like, "I don't know anything," and he's like, "Oh, don't do this." Like that to me is like him just putting up a front of like he's innocent. He doesn't know anything. 100%. He's a regular dude. Yeah.
I'm just a regular gun runner. By the way, gun runner, they use the word gun here.
Oh yeah.
Which I thought was interesting.
Yeah.
Because usually they just say blaster.
Right.
Maybe blaster runner sounded dumb and they didn't feel like that.
Maybe,
word.
Yeah.
Anyway, so Saul questions him. What's your relationship to May? Right? Just a supplier. Was a gun runner for the Hutts. Now he supplies, quote unquote, people like her, I guess assassins.
Yeah.
With what they need for the right price.
Mm-hmm.
Right? By the way, I love Yord. Maybe you can supply us with the truth.
Yeah.
Sick burn, Yord.
Yeah, sick burn.
Sick burn. Anyway, who is he? Saul asked. is there a master who's training her? He says he doesn't know really what's going on with her, but says that he knows that she wants revenge on 4 Jedi.
Right.
And that she'll be back later tonight, that he's holding some stuff for her. Right. Anyway, so they secure the perimeter and decide to come back in the evening. So cut to the evening. Thank God we don't have to wait around for that.
Yeah.
They're waiting for May. We get the classic "I have a bad feeling about this" line from Yord, which of course would come from Yord. I could have seen it from him or from Osha, to be honest.
Yeah.
Saul wants to face May on his own, alone, right? And I think this is an interesting conversation. I was talking about like the structure of the Jedi apprentice, master apprentice concept kind of working here.
Yeah.
He doesn't want Osha there because she's still so angry. I don't want you there. I didn't realize you're so angry still.
Right.
And she says, "Of course you're so angry. She destroyed my life, killed my family." Of course, she is also your family. Got to keep that in mind.
Right.
Right. But she's held this grudge that assuming that this girl that had died, right?
Right.
She assumed she was dead, was the cause of her life falling.
Was
apart,
everything? Yeah. Exactly.
Right? So Saul sees this as grief that will affect her judgment, that she won't be able to see clearly, which I think is totally true.
Yeah,
you know,
it's fair.
It's like when Anakin went and killed the women and children too.
Yeah, it's you're too. Yeah, you kill all the Tuscans. You're way too close to this. Yeah.
I murder them like animals. Anyway, she reminds him that she doesn't need his permission. Right? You're not my master anymore. You can't tell me that I can't go out there and confront her myself. Right? But he kind of has a truism for her. You want revenge. Right?
Right.
She wants revenge. If you want revenge, it's just revenge versus revenge, and no one's satisfied. Right? You need to rethink your point of view. Right? He says, "I couldn't save you then. I couldn't save her then, but let me try now. Trust me." He said, "Trust her and trust me." Right? That I am outside of this. I have perspective. Let me try first. If that fails, then we can try something else.
Yeah, exactly.
May arrives in the street. I thought it was weird that they had this confrontation in the street and not in the apothecary.
Yeah.
But whatever.
Yeah.
More space for kung fu fighting. Force fu.
Force fu, yes.
May arrives in the street. Saul approaches her. She says, "You killed Andara and Torben," which is a great opening line. She throws a knife at his feet and tries to attack him. He defends himself. "You attacked me without a weapon. Why?" So this is right away. We're again getting into the kind of like the rules and regulations of this.
Yeah.
Right. He's kind of clocking that it's odd to attack me without a weapon. You know, we live in a world where weapons are easily available to everybody.
Yeah.
So why? And you used a weapon with Torben. You used poison. So why now? Not this. And interesting, again, we know that she eventually wants to kill him too.
Right.
But maybe not in this order. Maybe. I don't know. She tries to go for the saber again. Doesn't succeed. Makes you feel like she's going to try that with a Padawan and will, and then that won't end well.
Yeah.
But we'll see. We get this cool shot of him like appearing behind her. I thought that was just so cool. It's like slow-mo.
Yeah.
And she's like, and then it just like pans and he's like standing right behind
her.
I thought it was fun. So he manages to like disarm her. So he steals all her knives.
Yeah.
What he thinks is all of her knives, at least at that point.
Yeah, she's always got the secret
one.
Yeah.
And
like a sabacc card.
Yeah, right. In an upper sleeve.
Yeah.
And so he's obviously she's no match for him at this point, right? He says, "You have misunderstood the Jedi arts. Your master has failed you. Tell me who trained you." Because to him, it doesn't really matter. You are a Force user who's been trained in a kind of a perverted version of what we know.
Yeah.
I don't care what you know. I just want to know who taught you.
Exactly. It's like when you don't want the baby drug dealer, you want the supplier.
Exactly. That's right. That's right. Exactly. Just like it's classic cop stuff.
Yeah.
So she attacks again, but Yord is kind of like watching on. So the fight continues. Back with Osha, she's using Pip to listen in on the Jedi conversation. The fight continues. Saul captures her with this force move and like has her like in midair, similar to like how
kind of like how he caught
her, Asha, but also how when Rey is being interrogated by Snoke,
yeah,
he's like has her in like a prone position like that.
Mm-hmm.
So she is, they're going through this whole fight sequence, but she's kind of defeated here. He reads her mind. So this is interesting, right? We've always known your thoughts betray you.
Right.
But we rarely see the Jedi use it in such a proactive way, right? So I think that's something that's a little different from what we're used to, which is kind of really part of the reason I like this era of the show, is that we get to see variances on things we're used to that, a Jedi would maybe not have done that before, but now it's part of their interrogation methodology.
Yeah, they just do it all the time.
Yeah. And then people are afraid of it.
Yeah.
Right? Because Yor threatens that Nemoidian with it.
Yeah.
Anyway, so even after all this time, he says, your thoughts still go to your sister. This pisses her off. She assumes Osha is dead, right? And thinks Saul is lying to her. Yor steps in here and is like, no, it's true, from his balcony.
Yeah. Way up there. It's like, shut up,
no,
Yor.
it's true. She's alive.
Yeah.
Right. He does close in on her a bit here, though. Jecki then appears overhead in this in the Jedi shuttle, helicopter style, very classic cop stuff. Spotlights on, and does the classic
you're under arrest.
Yeah, right. In the name of the
in
the name of the, what does she say?
Jedi Order or the Republic?
The Republic and the Council and all whatever. Anyway, we also learned that this is when she's like, oh, you couldn't tell me who your master was even if you wanted to.
Right.
Yeah. He's kept it even from you.
From you, yeah.
So there's nothing really to learn that. Get out of my head. Anyway, when Yord arrives, he kind of creates a little bit of a dust situation, which gives her an idea. So she uses the Force to create a dust cloud, and this allows her to escape. Before that happens, I like this moment, right before she does the dust cloud, where everyone's kind of taking a different stand. Yord goes for a saber, classic Yord.
Yeah.
But Sol extends his hand, which reminds me of Rey and
Kylo, yeah.
Right? And then obviously May is kind of trapped here. She has she's between. She looks at Sol extending his hand. Yord has the saber. She doesn't trust these people. She's looking for it out, so she uses this dust cloud to get away. Classic ninja smoke bomb.
Yes, I was I love that move. It's good.
So she's now on the run. She's trying to escape. She gets run over by a speeder.
Yeah.
And Osha, who's been listening, kind of repositions herself. She sees this whole thing happening. She has the stun gun. She has it aimed right at May's face. It's the first time they've seen each other for 16 years. Right? May clocks that she's being watched, right? She looks over. She sees Osha. She says, Oshi. Very nicknamey, right? Osha intentionally misses here.
Yes,
right?
Yeah. Shoots over her head.
But makes it look like she tried.
Yeah.
Right? We see Saul and Yord look on, almost disappointed. It's unclear if they saw her miss on purpose.
Right, yeah.
We'll find out, I guess, next week. But or if they're just you missed. We almost had her. Right?
Yeah.
Anyway, Osha's kind of shaken up here, having seen her sister for the first time. Saul has a holo conference with Venestra. She has convened a small council to discuss next steps. What is this? Was this a business meeting?
Yeah.
So she's
a subcommittee.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
We'll be in touch to discuss next steps.
Yeah.
Saul doesn't think that they have time for talks, right? Which is kind of like a Qui-Gon type situation.
Right, yeah. It's classic Jedi thing. It's enough talking.
We don't have time for this. We know where she's going.
Yeah,
right?
Exactly.
2 Jedi are dead. What do you mean?
Yeah.
Right?
Why do we need to talk about it?
Yeah, and so Venestra, though, she sees it differently. She says, this is bigger now. We thought it was one thing if it was just a rogue Padawan.
Right.
Now there's something else going on. We need to strategize, right? We don't make hasty decisions. We have to talk it through. We'll see you soon. Click.
Right.
Right? Anyway, I don't get the impression that he's going to go back to Coruscant.
Probably not.
Right? Anyway, May, still on the planet, confronts Kymir for selling her out to the Jedi, says that he should kill her right then. The other way around. She says she should kill her right then. But he says that he can make it up to her by getting her out of town and off planet to Kafar, which he says is, quote, a relaxing forest retreat in the Outer Rim where a Wookiee Jedi lives.
Yeah.
Which is funny. A relaxing forest retreat idea. Yeah. That takes us to Kafar. We see, we cut there. It's like mountains with big forests. It does look a little bit like a Sheik, right?
Yes.
And we see some random scrappers or just weird random people.
Yeah, scavengers, whatever. Yeah.
Looking to strip a hyperdrive for parts off of what looks like a crashed ship. We see a sign that they can't read.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it's in
Shriwook. Yeah.
But we turn around, we find out, the Wookiee Jedi is there. He uses the Force to pull their weapons out of their hand, and then saunters into his little house.
Right.
And then that's it. That's credits. Okay, that's it. That's 2 episodes. Final thoughts?
No, I mean, I like kind of how we said at the top. Like, it's an intriguing storyline, and I'm super excited for it. And, like you said, there could have been a little bit more dynamic lighting, could have been a little prettier, those kind of things, less volume. But overall, I like the story. I'm liking the characters so far. Like, I don't have any qualms with like the writing or, what we're seeing so far. Like,
No, I don't. Like I said, the very, very, minor tidbits, nitpicks, like, like saying R2 instead of Astromechs.
Yeah,
little
things,
off, like needlessly specific. And some of these other like concepts, in all in all, fascinated by the mystery.
Yeah.
I like seeing the change up on some of the concepts we're familiar with.
Yeah.
There's still lots of new kind of ideas to explore. I'm into this.
Yeah, me too.
It's, no, it's not Andor.
No.
But nothing is.
Yeah.
So
I still think it's going to be a very entertaining series. And
yes, I'm sorry. And we have yet to see any lightsaber duels, and I'm sure that's coming soon.
Yeah.
So that'll be cool too. Mm-hmm. And plus, we get to see a Wookiee Jedi.
Wookiee Jedis are so cool.
Not that often.
Yeah. Real badass. So.
Yeah. Right. And
I was saying when I was watching it, I'm like, how fucking strong would that like species be as a Jedi? Like, Wookiees are already crazy strong, super tough.
Time.
They live a long time, like all this stuff, and Force sensitive. I'm like, that's wild.
Yeah, it's not even fair, really.
Does she think she's gonna kill that guy without a weapon? Like, what? But,
well, yeah, I wonder if I guess we'll see. The implication is that he is gonna die, but we just don't know how that's all gonna play out. Anyway, it's cool to see Wookiee Jedi.
Yeah.
I would have preferred a more genuinely exterior location than what we get, which is clearly a set.
Right.
But
right.
Whatever. It's a minor nitpick there as well. Lots to explore. Obviously, we're going to go to a one episode a week format. So episodes of the podcast will be a lot shorter, tighter, which is nice for us. But thank you if you've listened this long. Appreciate you sticking around. Come back next week. Join us live in the chat room. Don't ask us dumb questions, or at least not rude questions anyway.
Usually we ignore them.
Dumb questions are, I was like, why was I reading that out loud?
Yeah.
Anyway, dumb questions are allowed. No such thing as dumb questions.
Yeah.
Just don't provoke me.
Yeah.
Anyway, we'll be back next week, probably Wednesday, with season 2, episode 3. Remember, there's 8 episodes this season.
Yeah.
And then after this, I don't know what's happening, but we'll cross that bridge when we get to it.
We'll figure it out.
Yep. All right. Well, until then, may the Force be with you.